That was a filthy third goal by Aho. That was beautiful.
That one I missed. I put my daughter to bed.
He fended off the guy with his right arm, gets it on his forehand in tight, goes right over Shesterkin's left shoulder, roofs it. Beautiful goal.
Missed the first period because there was a roller skating party last night, David. It's just going to get worse when she goes to the Catholic school, too. There'll be more crap.
Listen, you better tell her, get this out of your system, because the Wings aren't good yet. Okay? And just 2-3 years, you're not going to have time for this crap. Get this out of your system and through middle school, because by high school, honey, I'm going to be, by high school, I'm going to be busy in the spring.
Smart answer from her would be, so will I, Dad. So will I.
Yes, you will, honey. Yeah.
How about Shoffley?
Yeah. Just same as the U.S. Open last year.
I forgot to send you this yesterday. I got a great. Way to go, Shimko.
Oh, nice. Well done, Shimko. Top of the morning, everybody. I only think of you two with that score. What score is that, Paula? I mean, it's
5-3 Rangers.
Nice to be thought of, but it was Shoffley, yeah. Hey, didn't him and Fowler both shoot like 63s or something like that at the U.S. Open in the first round last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who won that again? Wyndham Clark. Got it.
Did you see? I don't know. How about Scheffler on
Here
one?
we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. Hope you've had a great week, and let's get to the finish line together, shall we? Terrific show lined up for you. But first, how the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. And, sign up. Follow us if you would. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning, David. Another exceptional sports night, especially for someone who may root for a certain team because, well, when Carolina pulled it out of the net on the goal that trickled between Anderson's legs there, I thought we had a game 7. I thought that was the sports god saying there will be a game 7.
Especially since Carolina won game 4, Carolina won game 5, and then when the forward there is making that diving play and the puck is 2 millimeters away from fully being over the line and they prevent a goal, and you're like, well, okay, now it's Carolina's turn. For those that believe in momentum, it was all going Carolina's way. And by all, I mean about 5-6 days worth. And then, yes, momentum in baseball is the next day's starting pitcher. Momentum in football is the next series of downs. Momentum in hockey is the next shift.
And sooner or later, when you can't clear your zone and the pressure mounts from the opposition, things happen. And they happened for the Rangers last night, in case you didn't watch, in a thrilling Game 6 victory over Carolina.
2 terrific hockey games last night, and I'm sure there's very few who are with us right now who watched and stayed fully up for the second one, but that one was decided in the final minute as well. But yes, Mark, there are certain times in which one of your teams wins and you've got a little bit more bounce in your step than others. All wins are not the same.
No, they are not.
And all playoff wins are not the same.
And I got a text from a buddy when that game ended, just eviscerating the Carolina Hurricanes. And I was thinking of you as I'm reading the text, because a game can end and people can have very different feelings about said game.
But sports is so funny. Carolina was facing elimination, what was it, Monday night? And they were trailing going to the third, and they scored 4 unanswered goals on the road in the third period, facing elimination to force the next game, which was going to be at home. And Mark, it in a small way, this happens a lot. We don't necessarily remember it, but one of the more famous times it happened was, you remember when the Angels were an out away back in 86 against the Red Sox, and the curse was still, in full swing. And the Red Sox came back and won Game 5 of the LCS, came home, dominated Game 6 and 7, go to the World Series. And then sure enough, about 3 weeks after the Red Sox were on the precipice, who's on the precipice of winning the World Series for the first time, and what then would have been 68 years? The Red Sox, who are an out away. And then we all know what happened. It's funny how sports works. Literally 72 hours after the Canes did to the Rangers in the Garden what they did, against the best team in the league points-wise, against a team who hadn't blown a third period lead at home, certainly not in the playoffs, and very few times in the regular season. Yeah, what'd the Rangers do to Carolina? Put up a 4-goal third period. And that's it. The series is over.
Just when you had the T-Wolves and the Nuggets figured out, the T-Wolves don't miss a shot.
Boy, I'll tell you, when Minnesota wins against Denver, they whoop them.
They win.
They whoop them. I mean, we haven't had a barn burner of a game in this series, have we?
No, we have not. 7-game series, of which there's really not been a close game yet.
I mean, Game 1 was competitive. Minnesota kind of Heisman them at the end. And is that the best quote-unquote game in this series?
I think you're right.
T-Wolves blew them out in 2 and 6. And Denver, the 3 wins in the middle, one was a blowout. The other was a borderline blowout. And Game 5, they Heisman them better than the T-Wolves Heisman the Nuggets in Game 1. Was Jokic making a statement, by the way? Just standing there? I mean, he was standing up for a lot of the fourth quarter. He wasn't sitting down. Is his back bothering him? I've never heard anything about his back, but he was just kind of standing there. Like, how a general manager's standing there and you think that the general manager's contemplating all the changes he's going to make to the roster?
And he's actually just watching the game?
Yeah. Right, like as DC says in the Twitch chat room, or maybe the chairs in Minneapolis uncomfortable. I don't know, but I just thought it was interesting. He's just kind of standing there with that dour look on his face, watching the proceedings, and you're like, is he going to eat them at practice tomorrow? I mean, what is going on? So I just found that to be interesting. But Yeah, it's not often that the defending world champions lose by nearly 50 in a playoff game.
Right.
Right. So that was strange. But we got ourselves a major championship in golf, Mark. So who's your first round leader?
Xander Schauffele, David.
Poor guy. Poor guy. You go out, you tie the best round that's ever been shot in the history of a major championship, and people are making fun of you for it.
And David, you said when he's going to win, he's going to blow people away.
That's my
Can
feeling.
he make the second round? And he's not going to go shoot 62 again.
No.
But can he shoot
68?
Hell, 69?
You know, put a 2-3 under, get it into double digits, post it, be the 36-hole leader. Let's go. But yes, I've been saying it for a while. When Schauffele wins his major, because this goes back a ways, but I'm old. You know, Weiskopf won one major. You know, Weiskopf couldn't beat Jack. Finished second to him, 4 times at the Masters. You know, Weiskopf couldn't beat Jack. And when Weiskopf finally broke through and won his major, he won the Open Championship in 73, and it was a walk in the park. I mean, it was over with 2 hours to go. You know, when Duval finally broke through and what turned out to be his only major, he won it easily. And I feel that that's what's going to happen when Schauffele. When Schauffele wins, it's going to be a 4 or 5 stroke win. This sucker's going to be over. He's just going to be too good that week. You know, no nerves. It's over. He was just too good. Even he couldn't get in his own way.
Well, we will see, because the leaderboard is quite impressive.
Yes.
At the PGA.
Yes.
Everybody who was supposed to play well played well.
So
Rory
this
was
is what
5 under.
This is what leaderboards used to look like, right? In golf, about 2 years ago.
Scheffler 4 under. I mean, so he has the who's who on the leaderboard with him, and it's obviously tough to follow a great round with another great round. Let's see if Schauffele can have a good round following the great round.
Did you hear the Jon Rahm drama? So Rahm's getting ready for his round, which I think was around midday, wasn't it? Didn't he tee off early afternoon? Rahm?
Yeah.
So, and apparently Rahm's walking up to, you know, former buddies. And we know what that means. It's guys who are on the PGA Tour who he used to be, you know, friendly with. He hasn't seen them much in the last 6-8 months, although he saw a few of them at the Masters last month. So Rahm's going up. Somebody's observing Rahm, and he's going up to, you know, these guys. Hey, how you doing? You know, and they are totally blowing him off. And the person who was observing Rahm said, Rahm's getting upset by this. It's really bothering him. Apparently, was it Morikawa or no, Hideki? Hideki made a joke about like his outfit or something like that, called him Johnny, you know, and then walked away from him. And so this guy posts on X, he goes, Rahm may go out and shoot like 77. He's totally, and so Rahm goes out and bogeys 4 of his first 6, something like that. I mean, he's a mess. He's throwing clubs. I mean, he's a disaster. And then he turns it around. Plays like the last 11 holes 5 under. Looks like Jon Rahm again. Yeah. 38-32. And he looked like Jon Rahm again. Now he's 8 strokes back, and who knows, but I'm just saying for 6-7 holes that whatever was going on, and then he looked like Jon Rahm again. It'd be nice to see Jon Rahm show up, wouldn't it?
It really would.
Yeah.
Since he joined Live,
nothing.
It's been non-existent.
No, he's as if he doesn't play golf anymore. So
it's the shorts, David. It's the shorts.
You think that's it?
No, I don't.
You think it's first off playing on Thursday? Is that what threw him off? He's not used to playing.
That could be it.
But, Koepka was ready to go. Cam Smith, DeChambeau, they were ready to go. I mean, some guys were ready on Thursday.
Patrick Reed had a nice round. I mean,
did you see the video of Patrick Reed signing the rules book for the fan? Fan wanted an autograph in the practice round. Reed's walking from green to tee. Guy reaches out, hands him a rule book. Patrick Reed looks at it, smiles, signs it, gives it to him.
Hey, good for Patrick Reed. I don't say many nice things about Patrick Reed because, well, he's a horse's ass. But
that's funny.
That's funny.
Yeah,
funny's funny, and that's funny.
Funny is funny.
I'm surprised as hell he signed it. I really am.
With a huge smile on his face, too. He took a look at it, looked at the guy, big smile, signed it, said, here you go. So, yeah, it was a hell of a sports day yesterday. It's funny how sports just keeps delivering.
Every single day this time of year.
Is sports a stock? Can we buy this? Is it on NASDAQ? Is it on the New York Stock Exchange? Can we just buy, quote, sports? Can I get that in Bitcoin? Where do I spend sports?
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
For those that are asking, I thought they had a chance. Did I think they were going to win? No. But, I mean, when your team's down 2, don't you do can we get one in the first 10 minutes and just see what happens?
That's exactly it.
And when they got the soft goal.
That's what Kreider even said in the interview. He says, we got the one goal in the first, you got the one goal in the first half of the period.
Yep. And, now, I got to admit, did I think it was a penalty? I think it was close. It wasn't a classic.
It wasn't a penalty.
I don't think it was either. An awkward place on the boards. The reason that I'm not bent out of shape about it, and not because it benefited my team, was the play earlier. The Carolina defenseman shot it out of the rink, and that should have been a delay of game. So to me, there were 2 blown balls there.
Right, but you take Stahl off, who's their best.
No, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
No. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. Although the Rangers have Trocheck out there. He's like 70% on faceoffs. But yes, absolutely. Stahl's their best defensive forward. No doubt. But And you're right. You'd rather, if you're Carolina, you'd rather lose Brady Skell than Jordan Stahl. It's tough to see the Avs losing all three on home ice, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing. I think Dallas is playing better, but when a series begins, do you think the Stars are going to go 3-0 in Colorado? I mean, that's a tough ask. Tell you what, the NHL needs the home teams to win. They need some hockey on the weekend. Road teams win tonight. I don't think there's any hockey over the. Oh no, Game 6, Edmonton, Vancouver. That's it. Kilo's dad, what score did you just see? Trent, how we doing this morning?
Much better.
Good.
Much better.
Get some
good
rest?
sleep. Yes.
Yeah, it's funny what happens when you get a little rest.
Yeah. That was half the battle yesterday.
College
So I
basketball.
tried to play golf yesterday
Okay.
when it was raining. So we're sitting around waiting. We get the all clear. We go hit a few balls. Literally, as we're ready to tee off, the siren goes off, and we're looking at the weather. We can see it south. It's like, nah, screw it. We're going to play. We go to the first tee. I mean, right over our head, as if God is telling us, do not play golf right now.
Ooh, a 6-foot-long python in a garage. Feeney had to go take care of this morning.
That's not a bug.
No.
Feeney. I mean, you do
No.
pests. That's not a pest. That's a snake.
And 6 feet long. A 6-foot python. Could a 6-foot python kill you?
Probably.
Probably, right? I'll tell you what. If you guys watch golf regularly, the rulings that the pros get are obscene. I mean, that ruling Harmon got yesterday, he is in. I mean, he's making bogey. He can't even see his ball. And they.
Here we go.
2, 1.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. The starting five, a little more than 15 minutes away. Pat Kirwan on the show today. Mark Packer on the show today. And we'll talk a little Preakness. We want to win you some money. The first bit of advice we give you is Miller and Moulton know when we're on a roll one way or another. And while we've had a decent week, man, we had 2 bad months before that. So we've been urging you go the other way for a couple months. If so, you're doing pretty well. The 4 months before that, we were feeling it. We were like the Timberwolves last night, and we were told you. And we had a system, and it was working. Right now, we only got one system. We got the baseball doubleheader system. It's working. We're like 7-2 with the system. You bet on the split. Do it for the rest of the year. See how it works out. But otherwise, we don't have a system. So we need, ways for you to make money. And so we had this prognosticator who literally handicapped the Derby perfectly. The 3 horses that were going to be in the money, how they were going to run their respective races. And she nailed it. Boom. So we lined her up 2 hours from now. I mean, if she could predict a 20-horse field, what's she going to do with an 8-horse field?
I'm so afraid of this interview because she was so well. When I say I like horse X and she starts laughing at me, I'm going to get a little worried about that, if you know what I mean.
Well, come on. I'm sorry. After the Derby, all right, I'm just betting whatever she says, guys. Okay. Kaitlin Free is the handicapper. Whatever she says, I'm betting. If you can predict win, place, and show in a 20-horse Kentucky Derby, when 2 of the 3 horses nobody had in the money, I'm listening to every word you have to say about the Preakness. And if you're wrong, that's okay. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Please.
I like the color of that one.
Exactly. Ooh, red. That's my favorite color. Ooh, I like even number horses. Right.
Well, I used to go to the dog track when they, present the dogs. They have the handlers walking the dogs for everybody before the race. It was always the one that dropped a deuce. That was my dog.
Oh, geez.
I figured he was the lightest.
Wow.
Little like room to run.
Is that a system?
That was a system.
That was your system, huh?
Get right down there on the rail. Because that's where at the dog track, that's a whole different level of gambler. And I don't mean that in a positive way.
Right.
The rail at a horse track, a harness track, or a dog track is its own unique animal. The people who hang out on the rail, usually a lot of lung darts going there.
Like John Daly yesterday?
Yes. And you get that vibe from the people. Well, the old movie with Richard Dreyfuss, Let It Ride, where he just walks along the rail. He looks at all the degenerates. Which horse do you like? The 3, and he crosses it off. And he comes up with a 1 horse. He just walks around to all the degenerates. Who do you like? Who do you like? And at the end, it was the 6 horses left, and he played that one.
So yesterday, apparently somebody was keeping track, not of John Daly's score. There's plenty of people to do that. Somebody was keeping track of the number of sodas, the number of cigarettes, and I forget the one other thing they were keeping track of. But it was 2 packs of cigarettes.
Okay.
2 packs in a round of golf. And remember, Daly plays quickly, so he's got a lot of time to smoke a dart, because he does not spend a lot of time debating the club and hitting it.
And it's not a fast round in these majors.
No, it's a 5+ hour round of golf, and John's working for about 23 minutes. Right. I mean, Trevino said that, well, why shouldn't I have fun? All I have to do is concentrate 45 seconds at a time, 70 times a day. All right. Why shouldn't I have fun? What am I going to do with all the other time? Daly's like 45 seconds. Well, why do I have to concentrate that long? But yeah, 2 packs and apparently only 2 sodas.
Ooh, he's way off his normal mark there, because it used to be about 24.
But there was 4 of something to eat, I think he had. Don't know how many more of these we'll see John in.
A lot of heaters.
Yeah.
Around the golf course right there. 40 heaters. 8. I mean, that's over 2 a hole.
Do you feel for his caddy? Because Daly has a medical disability, and so he is allowed to play with a cart. The caddy cannot put the clubs on the cart. The clubs must walk the round.
David, let me just ask you, what's worse? The caddy not being able to put the clubs on the cart, or having to sign your scorecard in the designated area?
Well, the designated area drives me absolutely nuts. So that will probably win out. I don't know of anything in golf that drives me more crazy than the fact that you have to sign your scorecard in the designated area. But if you're the caddy at one point in time, because it's not like Daly's going to wait for you. get in the cart and boom, he's going to go. So, obviously he's waiting on you, and John doesn't like to wait long. And so, you're having to walk that bag 300 yards. Let's go. I mean, where do you think his mind wanders to? Dum, 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 dum. I mean,
well, he doesn't even have his guy to talk to.
No.
Talk to the other caddy, I suppose.
I guess. Right. I mean, that would be awkward. Think about it. All of you're going to play golf today or this weekend. And, think about it. If one guy, I guess it would be like a foursome where there's only one guy in a cart and the rest of you are walking.
I've played, we have a couple guys where I play that walk. So every once in a while you have one cart with two guys in it, one single and then a guy walking.
Okay.
I don't mind. I just put the music on.
Yeah, but you're in a cart with somebody else.
No. I'm sometimes the one that's, the third wheel. I'm in the cart alone.
Oh, you're the single.
Yeah. Doesn't bother me.
No, I figured it wouldn't. You blare the music, don't you?
I don't blare it. I play it.
Okay.
I try to be respectful of everybody else that's playing, and the way my cart's set up, it's not super loud to everyone else.
Do you ever leave the music? Do you just pull up to the green and leave it on? Do you guys ever putt? Oh, I didn't know if you put it out like it was LIV or not.
Always.
So it bothers some people. They want total quiet.
In the regular Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday games that I play, I don't care. If it's a tournament, I will ask before we start, is the music going to bother you? And if they say yes, I will turn it off.
So,
which is ridiculous in and of itself.
In fact, that was a question my daughter had over the weekend. She came over on Mother's Day, and we're all together, which doesn't happen very often. And she says, Dad, I got a question. How come you got to be quiet in golf? That's ridiculous. All the other sports, she goes, even when I competed in, gymnastics and soccer and what have you, there's always noise. Why do we have to be, no, I'd have a lot more respect for them, okay, if they competed, and while there was cheering and booing and what have you. Then to me, they'd be an athlete. Huh. Okay, honey.
I would just like her to pick up a golf club and swing, and then have me stand behind her and yell when she's in mid-back swing and see how differently. Might not bother her a bit. There are those that don't have rabbit ears, and there are those that do.
So, but I said, it's that way in tennis too, honey. She goes, well, that's ridiculous. Okay. All right. Good to see you. Can I get you some coffee?
Justin Thomas just doesn't want you to yell after he hits the ball.
Right. It's okay if you yell in his backswing. Just while the ball's in the air, don't yell at it to get in the bunker.
Exactly.
Very quickly, did you see Butch Harmon? Okay, he chimed in on X during the round, criticizing ESPN's coverage. He goes, are they covering golf, or are they only interested in gambling? This is the worst golf coverage I've ever seen.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from 1/2 carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Florida.
Mark Miller for Molly Mae. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
When someone gets here, I'm gonna have them take a look at that because it's just the timing's off. Like it's.
I would text
stop
Chris.
Sets. Yeah, I sent him a picture of it already.
Okay.
I haven't heard anything back. It looks normal, but something's not right.
Trent,
Yes.
since you're the basketball aficionado, did you see what the Knicks are crediting for their big Game 5 performance?
No. Oh, yes. The fart in the locker room.
The fart in the locker room.
Yeah, I didn't really read into that, but I saw that headline.
Big loud fart apparently loosened up the room.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah. Ambient, I'm not going to pretend that I know enough about basketball, but I am going to tell you what I listened to, if it was yesterday or the day before, after their season opener. I heard two NBA guys, analysts, guys who do color commentary for NBA teams in their games, and they said that the offense that they're running is horrible and the spacing is terrible. And Brian Scalabrine, for one, said, I hope it's just that they're all new and they don't know what they're doing. He goes, well, otherwise that offense has to be scrapped. And he said she will struggle in that offense. That offense does not, it's got too many people standing around, too many people on one side of the court and there was another NBA guy whose opinion I respect, who last night took to X and said, yeah, they got to get rid of that coach.
What do you mean, Greek God?
What radio? What market?
Because there are some things going on here that are a little funky this morning.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, yeah, we're on. It's just right now it's playing the ESPN show, and I just have to pod that down when we come back. It's supposed to be
playing the ESPN national broadcast during commercials. You need to call Chris Beasley.
Okay, yes.
Oh,
it's playing ads, just not enough to fill the whole break.
Their computer's screwed up.
Like they don't have enough spots put in, and I don't know how to work this one.
Not affecting any of our other markets, David. I think this is a Chris Beasley screw up. I think.
It is. I'll call him during. We're coming back here, but I'll call him.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan will join us midway through the show. Kaitlin free in a couple hours to handicap the Preakness. What do you think, by the way? Do you think if you're running horse racing, you're going to go to the May, June, July 4th once a month?
I would, David. And I respect Kurt Becker, who was on the show yesterday. He knows the business far more than we do. He said he talked to horse trainers, but there are plenty of other horse trainers that have said it is too much on the horses, that there's a reason why, going way back to the 70s, Secretariat beat Sham in all three races.
Mm-hmm.
Affirmed beat Aladar, right?
In all three races.
In all three races. And they were epic.
It got closer every race.
Whereas the Derby to the Belmont was Secretariat. Obviously, by the time the Belmont came, Secretariat won by whatever it was, 30 lengths or whatever the hell it was. But they all ran in all the races, and now they don't. That tells me that they're trying to protect the horses. If they spread them out, would they all run, or do they have to throw more money at them to get them all to run? I don't know. But it puts the Derby horse at a disadvantage going into the Preakness with a bunch of new horses every time.
Yeah, I would just think for the sport that if we have to move it to one Triple Crown race a month so that more of the horses run in the Triple Crown races, I think that would be good for the sport.
And I don't know if it's a sport anymore, and I'm not being a smart aleck, David. I don't know if it's the Kentucky Derby and then everything else.
Yeah, could be. Could be. And the Belmont's only meaningful if a horse has won the first two legs, and then we pay attention. So, yeah, might be right. 20 minutes before the hour, it is time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
We'll start with the PGA Championship, and Xander Schauffele has done it again. A great round 1 in a major. Historic round 1, in fact. Tying the lowest score ever shot in a major. A 62, which is 9 under at Valhalla. 9 birdies, 9 pars. A beautiful round of golf. And because of it, he's got a 3-stroke lead, 3-way tie at 6 under. Tony Finau in that group. He also looking for his first major. There are 7 golfers who are at 5 under, 4 shots back, including Rory and Colin Morikawa. Koepka and Scheffler are both at 4 under par. How about Scheffler's start to the tournament? If you didn't see it, he eagled his first hole from the fairway. Yeah. It was a one-hop. It wasn't a dunk. It was a one-hop dunk from the fairway. So we started with a 2 and then went from there. By the way, some big names got off the solid starts at 3 under par, including Cam Smith, Victor Hovland, Bryson DeChambeau, Max Homa. Remember, it was Whit Watson who picked DeChambeau to win the PGA. JT and Spieth at 2 under. John Rahm was 4 over through 6 and ended up shooting 1 under 70 anyway. Tiger 1 over, Phil 3 over, and last year's Colt hero, Michael Block, the PGA professional, the club pro. Yeah, he started bogey quad yesterday.
But big news this morning that jumps into the starting 5. Scotty Scheffler was detained by the police this morning.
This morning?
Yes.
Huh.
He's in handcuffs in the back of a car right now, according to Jeff Darlington.
What
A
the
misunderstanding with traffic flow led to an attempt to drive past a police officer into Valhalla. The police officer attempted to attach himself to Scheffler's car, and Scheffler then stopped his vehicle at the entrance to Valhalla. The police officer then began to scream at Scheffler to get out of the car. When Scheffler exited the vehicle, the officer shoved Scheffler against the car, immediately placed him in handcuffs. Now he's being detained in the back of a police car.
What's his tea time? No. Seriously, I mean, you can't miss your tea time. I mean, this isn't like our little foursome. What happened? Mark's being detained in the parking lot. You guys can play through. No. Yeah, you can play through. We're waiting on a fourth. Well, why is he late? He's being detained in the parking lot.
8:48 is his tea time.
Okay. So, I mean, he's got a couple hours. Could affect, obviously, his morning routine. Well, you don't see that every day. So is there like video of him in handcuffs?
I don't, I saw a few people in the Twitch chat room mention it, and I've not been diving into X the whole show. And right when I did, the first thing I see is Jeff Darlington with breaking news. World #1 golfer has been detained by police in handcuffs after a misunderstanding.
Well, those guys, they're used to, traffic. They don't get traffic.
Well, and Louisville police have such a great reputation.
Well, exactly. Wow. All right. So Scotty Scheffler is 5 shots back, and he's in handcuffs.
Tough to hit that fairway shot. I mean, Scheffler might be able to do it, David, but
he is a great ball striker, but apparently he's going to have to do it a different way for the rest of the PGA. Hockey. It looked like Carolina was going to be the 10th team to be down 3-0 in a series and force a Game 7. And then just like that, their season's over, and they're in the handshake line. Rangers down 3-1 going to the third, being thoroughly outplayed, and they turned it around. They scored 4 unanswered, just what Carolina did to them in Game 5. The Rangers did to the Canes in Game 6. Rangers win it 5-3. They win the series in 6. Probably going to be massive changes in Carolina. I don't think there should be, but they got a lot of guys whose contracts expired.
Yes, they do.
Including their head coach. They better get that horse into the barn pretty quickly.
Well, they're cheap as an organization, and it's not just the money for him, it's the money for his assistants, and they are reluctant to pay. There's a reason John Forsland left.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
They're a cheap organization.
Yep. And they've got a really good team, and they probably should just bring the whole team back and just get a better goalie. Mark wants them to add a little more toughness, a Pat Maroon, a Corey Perry, somebody like that. But anyway, Rangers in 6, they're through to the conference finals for the second time in 3 seasons, awaiting the winner of the Florida-Boston series. Vancouver. Remember how Edmonton won Game 4 with less than a minute to go? Well, Vancouver won Game 5 with 33 seconds to go. JT Miller, the game-winning goal. Canucks 3-2, lead the series 3-2. Oilers push to the brink of elimination. By the way, you want to talk massive changes. Have Edmonton lose this series to Vancouver. Wait to see what happens to the Oilers. Tonight, 2 hockey games. We mentioned the Panthers and the Bruins, 7 o'clock. If Florida wins, they're back in the conference finals. If Boston wins, they force a Game 7. And Dallas and Colorado. Colorado needs to win at home to extend their series and force a Game 7. 7 and 10 o'clock, the 2 hockey games are on TNT. Boy, no drama in Minneapolis last night. T-Wolves up 19 at the half. They blow out Denver 115-70. Held the Nuggets to 30% from the field, 7 of 36 from 3. That's 19% from beyond the arc. Speaking of 19, that was the rebounding advantage for the T-Wolves. Anthony Edwards with 27. After the game, somebody from the Denver media said, when you left the locker room the other day, you guaranteed that you'd be back for game 7? He said, yes, I did. And the others were like, who'd you guarantee that to? And Anthony Edwards was like, oh, I told the staff, like the people cleaning up the locker room. He said, yeah, put it all back. We're going to be back here in 3 days. So game 7, the Nuggets, defending world champions, pushed to the brink by the T-Wolves. Game 6 tonight. Can the Knicks advance to the conference final for the first time in 24 years? Pacers a 5.5-point favorite. At home, home teams are 5-0 in this series. 8:30 tonight on the 4-letter network. One other basketball note. Sold out crowd in Indianapolis last night for Kaitlin Clark and the Fever. Yeah, they picked number 1 overall in the draft for a reason.
They're bad.
And they may have played 2 of the 3 best teams in the league to start the season. They played Connecticut, and then they played the New York Liberty last night. Breanna Stewart at 31 points, 10 rebounds. Kaitlin Clark struggled. 9 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, did a much better job in terms of not turning the ball over, but just 2 of 8 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. Had just 2 points in the first half. So maybe Diana Taurasi was right. Hey, it's going to be a little different here. Just let you know. We're all pros. Pretty good. I know none of you have been watching, but, we're pretty good. Baseball, only 6 games. Rays scored 2 in the 9th off Kenley Jansen, beat the Red Sox 7-5. Boy, Mark, the Yankees didn't just beat the Twins. They didn't just sweep the Twins. They shut them out 5-0. The 3-game sweep was by the score of 14-1. Yikes.
Some things change and some things stay the same, David.
And the Yankees own the Twins. As Pedro famously said, you just need to tip your cap and call them my daddy. Yankees are 30-15. They have a 1-game lead over the Orioles in the East. Edwin Diaz blew another save in the 9th against the Phillies, but the Mets rallied to score 2 in the 11th and beat the Phillies 6-5. Houston's won 5 in a row. They beat Oakland 8-1. Pirates over the Cubs 5-4. And Mark, you know what the Reds need? You know what our Reds need? They need Ohtani to have more bobblehead nights. If you think traffic in SoCal is bad, how about having Ohtani bobblehead night? And apparently they're having like 4 of them. And last night was the first one of the season. Apparently people didn't get into the stadium until the 3rd or 4th inning. The traffic and everything was so backed up. By then, the game was over. Ellie De La Cruz went 4 for 4 with 4 steals. Reds beat the Dodgers 7-2.
David, play at the PGA has been delayed because of an accident near the course. That has nothing to do with the fact that Scotty Scheffler's in the back of a police car and there's video.
So you think they're delaying the tournament until Scheffler gets out of handcuffs?
No, they say it has nothing to do with Scheffler. There's an accident near the course, but David, there's video of Scotty Scheffler in cuffs being stuffed into a police car.
Stuff you didn't think you'd see this morning.
So how was your first tournament as a father? Well, on day 1, I shot 4 under and dunked my second shot. A little one-hopper for an eagle. That's how I started things out. Then I got arrested.
Scotty, congratulations on winning your first PGA. What do you have to say about Louisville and the surroundings? Tell you what, though, come on now. Think about it. If what's being reported is true, we're all in line leading up to the golf course. And then one of us in our car gets out of line and is going to drive past everybody. You're probably on the wrong side of the cones. Come on now.
David, They put the number one golfer in the world in handcuffs for a traffic violation is what we know right now.
I understand. Do you think there's a chance, okay, that the cop has no idea who he was dealing with?
There were 42 cops at the scene here. I've watched it 3 times. One of them has to recognize, oh, that's Scotty Scheffler. He's playing in an hour and a half.
Well, my guess is at some point when Scheffler and the cop would probably be upset that Scheffler might have been a threat to others, getting out of line. But that when he rolled his window down and said, hey, I'm a player. I got to get in there. I got a tee time. Sorry for getting out of line. Right.
Book him, Dano.
So 7 minutes before the hour, that was
the starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
By the way, apparently, according to News Radio 840 in Louisville, a man died after being struck by a shuttle bus while crossing a road right near Valhalla. So there you have it. So it's the Scheffler in handcuffs is a joking matter, but it's a quite serious situation out in front of the PGA.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. We need a poll question. Have you ever been detained by the police?
Also, today was supposed to be the bad weather day in Louisville. At
Yeah,
least
it's
that was,
raining.
yeah.
I mean, they put him in an unmarked car, and the unmarked car drives away. Yes, we know, Greek God. We can't do anything about it. They screwed up the computers. It'll go off in a minute. I don't know what to tell you. Pot
You
down
are
that
listening
feed.
to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Crazy story coming out of Louisville, and unfortunately, it's turned tragic with there being reports of a car accident near Valhalla, the site of the PGA Championship, which just killed someone, but a lot of traffic. Scotty Scheffler and many others trying to get to the course. Scheffler reportedly went around the cones and was, disobeying the traffic instructions, and a cop attached himself to the car while Scheffler was driving away. Then when Scheffler stopped, when he heard the cop on his car, he stopped. Cop gets off his car, pulls Scheffler out of his car, puts him in handcuffs. Number 1 player in the world in handcuffs.
According to Jamie Weir, who is a Sky Sports News reporter and golf correspondent, Scheffler has been released by Louisville police after initially being detained following some confusion as he tried to navigate around the traffic pattern.
Jeff Darlington on site got a quote from a police officer that said, "There's nothing you can do. He's going to jail."
You want to bet?
Now his tee time's not for another hour and a half, but it's raining. Also, because of the fatal accident near the course, isn't play suspended right now or delayed? There was also some question as to whether or not they were going to get in on all the golf today anyway because of the weather. So, crazy story.
Kyle Porter reporting that Darlington was on SportsCenter and said it moved very quickly, very rapidly, and very aggressively. At one point, Scheffler, who was with the police, looked at Darlington, who was entering the property, and said, "Please help me."
I remember, I think the 1980 U.S. Open was at Baltusrol, which is in kind of north central Jersey. And I'm trying to remember if Sevy missed his tee time and got DQ'd. I think he did because of traffic. And this is in 1980. I mean, Sevy's already won an Open championship, and he's a year away from winning his first Masters. I mean, Sevy's a big deal. And I think Sevy got DQ'd because he got caught in the traffic near the course, and the traffic is horrendous. I can personally attest to that, but anyway.
What's the comp here? Ray Fittipaldo, who's been on our show a bunch of times, covers the Steelers, tweeted out, this would be like Mahomes getting arrested 3 hours before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to get credit. The only thing that I can, do you remember the very early moments of the OJ, Ronald Goldman, Nicole Brown Simpson story and the tragic murders? And there was the very first video of OJ in cuffs on site. All right. He's on the grounds. He's walking the grass. He's standing near a tree, and he's in cuffs. And one news outlet got that video. And it was out there. And then they took the cuffs off. And then it wasn't for another 2 to 3 days in which it was actually, he's our lead suspect, and he was supposed to come in and he didn't. And the chase was on. Obviously, very, very different situation. But I'm trying to remember, Mark, when's there been a sports person on the way to the game getting in an accident, getting arrested, being detained?
No, I'm trying to think. Was it the Raiders center that went MIA? He didn't get arrested. He went MIA before the game.
Rather than Barrett Robbins the night before the Super Bowl against the Bucs, and he went AWOL, basically.
Right.
Because the Super Bowl was in San Diego, and it took them about a half a day to figure it out. They found out just before the Super Bowl, apparently went across the border into Mexico and tied one on. Hold on a second. Was it the night before the Super Bowl, Broncos, Falcons, Eugene Robinson for solicitation?
Yes.
But he played. Here's the irony, by the way. I think it was about 8 hours after he had won the Bart Starr Award. Look up what the Bart Starr Award is for. It's basically a character award. All about, how you conduct yourself and what have you. And then Eugene Robinson gets arrested. In Miami, there was another Miami Super Bowl 10 years earlier. Stanley Wilson, the night before the Super Bowl, Bengals and Niners. Stanley Wilson, who had overcome a drug suspension and what have you, was a big part of the 88 Bengals. He was the sidekick to Ickey Woods. Big part of the game plan. He tied one on the night before the Super Bowl. And all of a sudden, the morning of the Super Bowl, here's this breaking news story. Stanley Wilson's not going to play. Oh, why? What's going on? Little Peruvian marching powder. And, he's got some issues again. Oh, okay. So, I mean, that's about it. I got, Barrett Robbins didn't play. Stanley Wilson didn't play. Eugene Robinson, the safety for the Falcons, did play. By the way, burnt badly on the Elway bomb to Rod Smith for a touchdown.
So Scotty Scheffler has been detained. I have one report that he's out of cuffs. That's the only one I've seen.
People bringing up Jordan and the gambling and AC. I don't know. I mean, to me, that was a story that was post, like the Bulls went down 2-0, and Jordan was good in game 2, but the Knicks were better and they won. And it was the first time the Bulls were in a hole like that. And then the story came out. Well, I mean, what do you expect? Michael was gambling all night in Atlantic City. And then that story took a life of its own. And just what you need to do, you need to give Jordan more motivation, especially when he's in his prime.
Well, this is an interesting morning.
Yeah.
This is, if you're just waking up, Scotty Scheffler's been detained by the Louisville police.
I thought the coolest video we were going to have this week is Scotty Scheffler. Did you see the basketball pickup video that emerged yesterday?
I did not.
Trent, did you see it? Scheffler's got some game. Scheffler's got a little game.
I did not.
He's not bad.
I did not see.
He's, a bigger guy. Okay, he can put it on the floor and get to the hoop. He's got some game. He's all right. You would pick him in your pickup. You really would. He's, oh, yeah, I can use him. He's a good player. Sure, we could use him. Got some size. Can maneuver around the court. You saw some athleticism in that video. It was kind of like, because, let's face it, we don't think of golfers as athletes. We don't. No.
And we don't think of them as NASCAR drivers either now.
So, it was nice to see, look at it doing something athletic there. I, of course, since I'm twice as old as Scotty Scheffler, my thought was, oh, dude, you could rupture an Achilles. Okay, what are you doing? Because,
when you started saying that, I'm like, wow, you're letting him, Scotty,
exactly.
There's a lot of things that could go wrong playing pickup basketball.
Exactly. Come
you're
on
a golfer.
Come on now. All right, don't blow out an Achilles here.
A horse. There's a lot of things you could do.
Even a sprained ankle could really get in the way. We got a bunch of majors coming up here. Come on now. But, that's how old people think. Oh, no, you can get hurt. Poked in the eye. So that's all I got. Football. Barrett Robbins, Stanley Wilson, Eugene Robinson before the Super Bowl. 2 of the 3 didn't play, though. Somebody's saying that Jordan got a speeding ticket on the way to a playoff game one time. My question is, was he driving or was Ahmad Rashad driving and he was the passenger? Hello. It's a 30-year-old reference, but it's pretty good.
I know there's been plenty of player who's missed the exit to a stadium and has been late to a game because they've gotten lost driving, which is a whole...
Do you remember, this goes back 40 years, you were in Atlanta, so this story had life there. Pascual Perez in the 80s, missed the start because he got lost. He was new to Atlanta and he got lost and he didn't know where to get off. Now, this was Atlanta traffic 40 years ago. I could almost understand it now. 40 years ago, it was a little tougher to understand. But yeah, Pascual Perez missed his start because he was just driving around and didn't know how to get off and get to the stadium.
Got on 285 and got on the perimeter and just didn't know where to go.
Just kept driving around in circles. Right. So, that's all I got. But listen, this, you know what? Maybe we need a golf reality TV show. Maybe this
we have one. It's on Netflix. It's called Full Swing. It's really good.
Is it really? Do they have video of this?
Season 3 just got really exciting. That's all I know. It starts with Scotty Scheffler in the back of a cop car.
You got John Rahm throwing clubs in the middle of the fairway of a PGA championship yesterday like a spear. Now we got Scheffler getting arrested.
Remember when I asked you guys if you throw your clubs like a javelin or like a tomahawk?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
You guys said you always go tomahawk. Well,
yeah.
Rob went spear.
It was a good throw, too. It was. No. There's some real yardage there. Okay. That wasn't a slam it into the ground. That was the caddy's got to walk about 50, 60 yards to pick it up. That thing bounced. Oh, yeah. So this PGA Tour is getting interesting now.
4th major,
see what you've got, Open Championship.
Want to make this tournament interesting? We're going to arrest the world's #1 golfer right before round 2.
Yeah. What are you guys going to do? Hype that up. Is this where Nance shows up at the police station? Hello, friends.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commission and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from 1/2 carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Yeah, I got to remember to pod that down as soon as.
Yep, he's not answering at all, huh?
No.
And I know he's awake. They got a golf tournament this morning. He's just refusing to come in and help. Unbelievable.
This Timberwolves team is so fun.
I love all the conspiracy theories in the Twitch chat room. People think Scheffler got arrested. You know, the cop have money on Rory or Shoffley. You know,
No one but this Sky Sports guy's reporting he's been released, by the way.
LIV involved. I mean, I love the conspiracy theories.
Have we decided on a poll question yet, or no?
Will Scotty Scheffler be released in time?
Have you ever been in the back of a cop car? Yes or no? Once,
Yeah.
multiple times,
Yeah.
never.
In honor of Scotty Scheffler being detained by police, comma, have you ever been detained by police?
Which
I was
Oh,
one time. I was.
Well, that's why it should be once, never, multiple
no,
times.
just yes or no.
No, yes or no. Have you
Well, I
ever been detained by police? It's like, did you ever kill a guy? No, sir. Trent, you're aware of that story, right?
What, you with the golf club?
No.
No. We had a guy, we were talking about Dante Stallworth.
Dante Stallworth. Remember when
Yeah.
he hit the guy? He went to jail for 28 days for killing a guy.
Right. And he bought his way out. The family said no reason him serving all the years in prison, and he paid him $8 million, and Miami-Dade let him out. And so we were talking about that story, and a guy called in.
Well, and I said, David, there are listeners on our show. I guarantee you there are people listening right now who have been in jail longer than Dante Stallworth. I go, I guarantee it. And Dave was like, there's no way.
And I said, fine, call the show, and gave out the number. And so people started calling in, and they did more than, I think it was 24 days in jail. And this guy called in and starts to tell the story about doing time. And and in the middle of it, I said, did you ever kill a guy? And he goes, no, sir.
No, sir.
And then Mark goes, did you really just ask him this? What is wrong with you? And I go, and not only that, he called me sir. He called me sir after I was that obnoxious.
No, sir.
No, sir. And so we ran that drop in for years. Did you ever kill a guy? No, sir.
Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Trent, the play of the day, is coming up. Pat Kirwan at the top of the hour. We'll talk some football. Kaitlin Free will preview the Preakness next hour. Mark Packer, ACC, just had their spring meetings. We'll ask them how that little family picnic went coming up. But, I got to hand it to sports fans. We've said this many times over the years, Mark. Can we just run the country the way we do sports? Can we adopt the attitude towards the major issues in this country that we have toward sports? We'd be a lot better off. People make fun of sports fans, and we're wasting our time, and we put too much time, effort, and energy into something that's superfluous and doesn't mean anything. Let me tell you, the world would be a lot better off if it was run like sports. And if we had the attitude towards the major issues in our life that we have towards sports, okay? And I say that confidently after the reaction that we've had in the last 40 minutes to Scotty Scheffler being detained by police for a traffic incident near Valhalla, the site of the PGA in Louisville.
Man, I knew that was a tough course to play, but man, oh man.
I just had a buddy of mine text me and said, do you think that the police officer bet the field? And that's the other thing. We've got, how about the fun we're having in our Twitch chat room? Well, I think LIV's involved here. Okay. Just if you don't take their money, okay, they come after you.
The officer having money on the field is a genius joke.
Okay. There's a reporter, a golf reporter who took to X. And, because Jeff Darlington, I think, of ESPN was the first to report this.
Right. He's covering Scheffler. Like, he's covering the tournament, but specifically, he's covering Scheffler.
Right.
Be with him every second of every day.
And Scotty Scheffler reportedly said to Jeff Darlington at one point, help me.
Yes. And apparently someone came up to Darlington after and said, do you know the name of the person we just arrested? Because he was in the car and someone else asked. They had no clue who he was.
Right.
This is going to end badly for the Louisville police.
It will, although, based on past incidents, they're pretty good at covering their own. But back to the Twitch chat room. All right. But anyway, there's another golf reporter who went at Jeff Darlington on X and just said, was the police officer Rory McIlroy? I mean, that we need this, we need this. The conspiracy theories. I don't know what the text line mark is like at 21,000, but in the Twitch chat room, the fun that we're having with the conspiracy theories, the betting angle of this. I mean, this is the attitude we need. We need more of this.
Texter saying the longest yard golf team looking strong.
That's come on now. Let's get our sense of humor back. I like it. I do. It's the way to head into the weekend. Let's do it in good spirits. Let's have some fun at Scotty Scheffler's expense.
I don't know. The poll question today is an easy one now.
Okay.
But I have trouble putting in honor of Scotty Scheffler being detained by the police. I'm changing it to Scotty Scheffler is being detained by the police. Have you ever been detained by the police?
Fair enough. So
I just feel like in honor of someone being detained is not the right verbiage for that. If you know what I mean.
You're right. I probably misstated that during the break when you were like, how should we word this? And I go, well, in honor of Scotty Scheffler being detained. Okay. Do you need to identify? Do you think there's anybody who would see the poll question who wouldn't know who Scotty Scheffler is? So we don't have to put world number one golfer, Scotty Scheffler.
Maybe, but
too late.
It's too late now because it's posted.
This happens like once a week, by the way, where David will just keep going.
In honor. Right. I do honor a lot of people. We do segments sometimes to honor people. So that's maybe where I get it. By the way, my answer is yes. I was detained by police once. I was delivering pizzas, Scranton, Pennsylvania, for Domino's. It was like $89.90. And I got pulled over. And I'm like, I'm not speeding. And, And so, and I'm in my Domino's outfit too. I got the orange top and the blue bottoms and got my hat. Trent's always wondering, did you wear hats? Oh, I wore that Domino's hat, man. Oh, yeah. I got hot pizzas in the car. This is when it was 30 minutes or it's free. We hadn't even gone to 30 minutes or $3 off yet. This is 30 minutes or it's free. And I literally said to the cop, and I'd lived in Scranton like 7-8 years. I was on television. And so, I was, this much. And I put my, index finger and thumb about a half an inch apart. I was this much of a public figure. And the cop recognized me. And I said, for what officer, is it outrageous if I ask you, could you follow me 6 blocks down to Adams? I've got a 2-pizza delivery. I go, whatever it is, because otherwise you do this, it's going to be late. I got to give it away for free. And he said, no, I can't do that. You're going to have to stay. I went, oh, okay, all right. And he came back. He ran my plates and all that. And he said, you have a suspended license. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I have a suspended license. And he said, I hate to do this to you. And then I said, well, what am I going to do with these pizzas? And at that point, he said, okay, we'll go to Adams. You can drop off the pizzas, but then I got to take you in. And I'm like, what? So we dropped off the pizzas just in time. All right. And then I was taken in. Yeah. And we worked through it, and it took a couple hours to figure it out. Apparently, I had gotten a ticket, and they don't forward your mail when you move. And so there's a ticket that I did not pay, unbeknownst to me. And it was like 2 years old. And now it was hundreds of dollars, and my license had been suspended. Also, unbeknownst to me, because all the court stuff was going to the other address and not being forwarded.
Here's what I want to know. Did the customer tip well? Because I'll tell you, if my pizza delivery man got a police escort into my driveway, I would probably tip a little
I'd be freaked
extra.
out. I'd be a little freaked out over the whole situation. Because first, I think the cops were there for me. So I'd be just nervous, and then you hand me the pizzas. I'd be like, "Here's your money. Take the police with."
Well, it wasn't like it was 2 or 3 cop cars with their lights on or anything. It was just me and Charlie there. Charlie followed me to the house. I left the car. I got back. I got in the back of his patrol car. We went downtown. So my answer is yes. I got to vote right now.
Well, get that vote in. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. Scotty Scheffler has been detained by Louisville police for a traffic incident. He was thrown in the back of a cop car, handcuffed, and thrown in the back of a car and taken away from the scene. Jeff Darlington witnessed the whole thing. Sky Sports has reported that he has been released. It is the only news service out there saying such. Because of the unfortunate, tragic incident with a pedestrian being hit by a shuttle bus and killed at Valhalla, delays to the start of round 2 have already happened.
So, this is nuts. We have a fatal car accident. We got weather. We got the #1 player in the world in police custody. Who says golf is boring? All the people going, "Well, you guys spend a lot of time talking golf." You have a lot of golf guests. Huh? I mean, there was a thrilling win by the Rangers and Canucks last night. Anybody getting arrested? No? Jokic, 3 MVP in 4 years. Has he ever been arrested? No.
On the way to the game? No.
Could you imagine that? Before Game 7 against the T-Wolves, Jokic gets in a traffic incident, detained by Denver police.
The funny thing, too, is Scheffler got arrested because he was trying to peel off from the chaos that ensued because of the crash.
And golf is boring. No, it's not. Play of the day coming up on the other side, promise.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
By the way,
someone took a picture of Scheffler, put it on X, and put the teardrop for killing somebody tattoo, and put the teardrop tattoo on his face.
Unreal. Unreal. Do you know in 9 minutes we have 36 votes?
Yeah.
We've had poll questions only get a few more votes than that.
I was just going to forward it and say which time.
For how long? Yes, for how long? I will say he didn't put me in cuffs. I've never been in cuffs.
Yeah. Makes one of us.
Trent, you ever been detained?
Hell no.
No.
Hey, listen,
Well,
I was about
times.
I was
One
about
time-
your age
Yeah,
when
no,
it happened.
I was close once because it was during the pandemic up in East Lansing when it was a ghost town. There was no one there, right? Because everyone was quarantining. So me and my roommates would spend weekends. We'd just come back to our apartment and just literally walk around with like open containers and stuff. Just not a good idea. And this cop drove past us one time and we had literally bottles just walking around. He didn't even nothing, just kept going. It's like, thank God.
This is where you want to start playing some drop-ins. Do we get a little Jackie Gleason, from a Smokey and the Bandit to drop in? Do we run that here?
I mean, how about Jeff Darlington, though? Like Matt Canada says, NFL reporter doing a side quest covering Scheffler at the PGA turns up in a breaking news. I mean,
I did the lead story of a newscast one time in armed robbery.
oh, and they yell at Darlington's following with the phone. Cop turns around and basically tells him to get away. I got to get the sound on this. Trent, you may have to get Darlington's video and just play the sound from him getting arrested. Go on X and get Darlington's video.
Okay.
Where the cop says he's going to jail and there ain't nothing you can do about it. If that ain't the play of the damn day, I don't know what is. Sure, Vancouver scored with 31 seconds left to win the game. Sure. They had a hat trick in the third period to win the game for the Rangers. Sure. Scotty Scheffler got arrested on the side of the golf course, and a cop told Jeff Darlington he's going to jail. There's nothing you can do about it. Tell you what, thank God Scotty Scheffler's white. Louisville cops might have just shot him.
So when do we think the next major championship's going to be held at Valhalla?
Adam, that's funny. That's really funny. I mean, that's incredibly funny.
And see, that's what we need more of. They keep those scrambling stats, right, in golf with this. JM, is this a sand save? Yeah. Yeah,
Hey.
Donjay, come on, Donjay. Unfortunately, you know what would have happened.
Especially in Louisville. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. We laugh, so we're not outraged.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Pat Kirwan will join us at that time. Kaitlin Free an hour from now to handicap the Preakness. Mark Packer in a little more than an hour talk about the state of the ACC and just how dysfunctional is the family these days. But we got a developing situation going on in Louisville, outside of Valhalla, the site of the PGA Championship. You know, I thought Xander Schauffele tying the all-time record of lowest score in a major at 62. I thought that'd be the lead story at least till we teed off round 2, but apparently not, Mark.
No, it's not. Scotty Scheffler has been detained by the police before the start of the PGA Championship. That's world number 1, Scotty Scheffler.
Right, he's a golfer. Right, for those that don't know, he just won the Masters for a second time. He's won 4 out of his last 5 tournaments.
Jeff Darlington, who was covering Scheffler specifically at the PGA Tour, was there when he was pulled over and detained and is taking video, walking with him, in which a police officer tells Darlington he's going to jail. There's nothing you can do about it.
Kyle Porter. I'm sorry, Trent, what?
I'm working on getting the audio for it.
So Kyle Porter covers golf for CBS. He has been posting what Jeff Darlington has been reporting live on the morning sports centers. Here's his back-to-back posts. Darlington on SportsCenter said the Scheffler and handcuff situation moved, quote, very quickly, very rapidly, very aggressively. And then at one point, Scheffler, who was with the police at the time, looked at Darlington, who was also entering the property, and said, quote, please help me. Porter continues to post. Darlington also just said, after a somewhat chaotic and confusing exchange as Scheffler tried to enter the property, Scheffler tried to continue driving into the course, and the officer started yelling obscenities at him. Then when Scheffler rolled his window down, the officer reached into his car and grabbed him by the arm. Now, in fairness to the officer, there's been a deadly traffic accident nearby, near the course. And that's one of the reasons why traffic is so backed up. Scheffler, the officer, probably aware of the situation. Scheffler not. He's just like, wow, where's this traffic, coming from? And I got to get to the course. And there are reports that Scheffler, maybe drove, how they set up the cones and what have you, and Scheffler was trying to drive around it. He got close to the course, drive around it. I got the player's badge. I got a special parking thing. I mean, all those cars are identified. And so he figured, I'll drive up and I'll go in. No. It's not how it works. So, yeah, there's video of Scheffler in handcuffs.
Oh, video of him in handcuffs. And here's the audio of the police officer when Darlington is videoing Scheffler being taken to the police car.
What are we doing? I'm staying back. Here's the thing. Right now, he's going to jail. Okay. He's going to jail, and it ain't nothing you can do about it. Period. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay. Okay. Now, do you have first? I'm media. I'm a reporter. Okay. So that's all. That's fine. I just want to make sure that's okay. But you need to step back over here. No problem. You got it. Okay.
Darlington nearly gets. I mean, they threatened Darlington twice, telling him back up or you're next, basically.
Oh no! See, then I'm getting. Oh, he's a much better man than I, because then I'm going downtown. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm armed with a camera, and you're going to arrest me? Okay. All right. Bring it on. Bring it on. I'm retiring.
So that's my vote for play of the day. The police officer telling Darlington he's going to jail and there's nothing you can do about it. But I know, Trent, you work at this. You put some time in. You look through the highlights. You try to find the play of the day. Up until Scheffler getting arrested, what was your play of the day?
Well, there was a couple of really solid options, but I had to do this one for David because the Rangers advanced last night after a hat trick in the third period.
Fox centers across. Shot by Sabanich, deflects it away. Right off the boards, off the glass by Roslovic. Rangers dominant here. Rembrandt, they score! They score! The Rangers lead it 4-3. Oh my goodness gracious! Chris Kreider with a hat trick in the third period.
Short list of guys that have done that before, and Gretzky's one of them. So
it would, in Rangers history, there had only been 2 who had done it before. A hat trick in a period in a playoff game. Their names are Gretzky and Messier. Yeah.
But
Kind
David,
of a
how you
BFD.
feeling? Your
How
team
am
was
I
up
feeling?
3-0. They made you sweat. Now they're advancing.
How am I feeling? I'm feeling like that cop putting Scheffler in the back of the car. I am pumped up. I am fired up, baby. I'll handcuff a reporter next. Let's go.
Feels like 94, maybe?
No. Take it easy. Take it easy. First off, right? Only halfway there. Secondly, no, it doesn't feel, no. Mm-mm. No.
We'll circle back on that in a month.
I was going to say, I know everybody making the comparison, the Knicks had a run in 94, the Rangers with a run. I get it. Trust me. I was living and dying with it. I get it, but it's not 94.
I got to tell you, I liked Forsland to Kenny Albert, but Kenny Albert last night proved what a pro he is as an announcer, because he's the Rangers play-by-play guy, and he's doing the national coverage.
Right.
David, he was more excited for Carolina goals just because of the way he saw the goal. There was no difference in a goal call. There was no difference in inflection and voice. There was no difference in drama throughout that game. He is a pro's pro. I thought he was excellent last night.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yep, he was. That was Sam Rosen and Dave Maloney on the radio. Ironic. Sam does TV for the Rangers. Dave Maloney, former Ranger, he was a captain, defenseman back in the day. The irony is Kenny Albert, who's the number one television voice of hockey on Turner, is the Rangers radio announcer. So there you have it. By the way, Michael Collins, according to some in our Twitch chat room, was just on ESPN, and Michael Collins said on SportsCenter that he spoke with some golfers who did the same maneuver as Scheffler in terms of driving around the traffic, because some of the other golfers were waved around onto the course. And so Collins kind of implying maybe Scheffler thought, he could do that as well.
Play will begin at 8:35, according to the PGA Championship. Round 2 starting times are delayed 1 hour and 20 minutes. So that gives Scheffler a little more time to get to his tee time after being detained.
Okay, what was his tee time? Close to 8:30?
8:48.
Okay, so this will give him to a little after 10 o'clock then.
Right.
Okay. Well, that's good because he's in handcuffs. So give him some time. Hey, can we move this paperwork along? Why? Do you have a date? Well, I have a tee time.
He's going to jail. There's nothing you can do about it.
I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to videotape it and find out what's the story, dude. Back off or you're next. Oh, man. Honestly, at my age, I would have seen this is my retirement. Oh, just please put your hands on me. Please.
How about Scheffler's wife? Here she is at home nursing the young baby.
Right.
She's getting up every 3 hours, so she's putting on the well, he's teeing off early this morning. Might as well put ESPN Plus on to see what he's a featured group,
Probably one of the moms is there, either her mom or his mom is probably helping out.
Yep.
Okay. Whatever her name is. Honey, can I talk to you for a second? Well, in a minute, I got to feed the baby. No, I'll take care of the baby. Scotty's in jail. What?
This has to be on the national news, right?
Oh, yes.
Number one golfer in the world.
Arrested or detained? And that's our poll question, by the way. Come on. What do you say we have trouble with poll questions? We're current. We're happening. Have you ever been detained by the police? Yes or no?
It's unbelievable.
It really is. It really is. Apparently, there was a tragic traffic accident near the course. Somebody died, and it's why the traffic is even, worse than it had been the day before, and what have you.
That also probably has to do with the intensity of the officer.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
As OK Music points out in our Twitch chat room, I mean, who knows? Maybe Scheffler, had a temper in his, teenage years. Maybe Scotty has been in trouble. But he said, do we think Scheffler's even been to the principal's office before?
Of most unlikely to be detained by the police list, where do you think Scotty Scheffler would rank? He might rank first on the PGA Tour, let alone you start putting the rest of the sports world into this conversation.
Yeah, American athletes, I can't think of one more innocent guy.
By the way, how do you handle this on PGA Tour radio right now? Do you start breaking into a discussion of, let's be honest, guys, if we thought there'd be someone who would get detained by the cops over the years, and then you start rattling off all the guys who you thought would get detained by the police?
Better question, will PGA Tour radio even mention that Scotty Scheffler was detained?
Well, I think they have to, because they're supposed to be broadcasting golf right now. There's no golf. Why is there no golf? Now, they didn't delay the tournament because of Scheffler. They delayed the tournament because of traffic.
You also mentioned this yesterday about his personality, and he's got some Tim Duncan to
Oh,
him.
this is going to be great for him. No, seriously, this will be great for Scotty Scheffler. I don't want to say this is like street cred for a rapper, but I mean, seriously, this will be awesome for Scheffler. I mean, think about what this does for his Q rating. I mean, you're going to watch this is going to make the national news tonight. This will get 15 seconds on the 6:30 p.m. newscasts all across the country. I hope he goes out and shoots like 62. Honestly. I hope he tears it up.
Mark Harris, who writes for Outkick, does their golf coverage. Scotty Scheffler has won the Masters, become a first-time dad, and been put in handcuffs and thrown in the back of a cop car in the span of 33 days. Talk about an all-time run.
As someone in a Twitch chat room said, I'm a Rory guy, but now I'm rooting for Scheffler to win. I got to be honest. Now I'm rooting. This is the first time in my life I've ever rooted for Scotty Scheffler.
And I don't think it was LIV that did this. I actually think it was the PGA, because they needed people to watch this tournament. Otherwise, no one was going to watch. This may have doubled the rating for this tournament, David.
If he can get himself into contention. Like he needs to post a good score today, be near the leaderboard.
And Scheffler, now you're one of us. Now you're showing up for that tee time 5 minutes before, taking 3 swings and getting to the first tee. Screw your warm-up routine. Now this is real golf, buddy.
Do golfers have it in a mark? Because we know if this were another sport, if this were hockey, basketball, baseball especially, okay, the guys would pull a prank. Like when the round's over, they would arrest him. They'd put him in handcuffs. They would. The guys in baseball and hockey especially, football probably, they would do something. Do you think the guys have it in them to pull a prank with Scheffler? Good-natured prank, obviously. It lasts a couple minutes.
I don't think this week. I think the next tournament he shows up at, someone's putting a jumpsuit in his locker. If he had a sense of humor, he would wear all orange tomorrow. Or he probably doesn't have it today.
The Ricky Fowler orange Puma?
Yeah, just go the whole orange jumpsuit look.
Exactly where my brain went. Ricky Fowler. Ask Ricky. He'd help you out.
Can you wear stripes like an inmate? Can you get an outfit where you look like an inmate? No. The jumpsuit, okay, yeah. Oh, that'd be hysterical.
Or have the caddy wear a jumpsuit instead of white. Orange.
PGA Tour would lose their mind. It'd be awesome.
Not the same pregame meal for him today now?
Do you do like pointed out in our Twitch chat room? Remember the Days of Thunder scene when they pulled the prank on Tom Cruise? They pull over the bus and they pretend fake arrest him. Do you have to do that with Scheffler at a future tournament? Pat Kirwan next.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Good morning, boys.
Literally, as I sent that, you popped on. I was like, uh-oh. Just making sure you got it.
Yep, thank you.
You did. We were just afraid you might have got detained by the police this morning like Scotty Scheffler.
That could happen. Usually I work my way out of it with game tickets. The Rangers.
Oh, here we go, baby.
Yeah. Boomer. He's already forgotten that he's not at CBS anymore.
Oh, he doesn't have access. Well, he's got his own season tickets, though.
Oh, yeah. He's a total Ranger head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the funny thing is, there's one son-in-law is the Islander.
Yes. But he comes back in my area on Sundays, basically as soon as we're done with the halftime show, the 4:00 game, he comes back and I have to have a TV with the Rangers on for him.
Sure.
And I go, boom. What do you want me? He goes, well, give me some notes for the post game. I got to watch this. Okay.
I love the Boomer story where, they're getting serious and the hockey player's coming over the house for the first time.
Yeah.
And when he knocks on the door, Boomer and his kid both have their Rangers jerseys.
Yeah, that's how Boomer is. He is a wise guy.
And I forget the Islander who just said, well, Boomer was letting me know right away. Okay. This is how it's going to be.
You know, he's a nut job. He'll go to the Rangers game in his Rangers jersey on the Long Island Railroad. So he can, feel the presence of the fans all rolling in. Crazy. I already said they should put Boomer on one Christmas game and Phil on the other one.
Well, I am curious who Netflix is going to have do the games. I mean, will they just sublet the NFL Network people? I mean,
well, it'll turn into that. I think CBS and Fox would charge exorbitant amount of money to use their guys.
Right.
But as I said, I will say this about Boomer. I thought the pregame show was okay for him, but he's a very good analyst. He really does get the game, and he knows how to really talk the game way more than Romo. And Phil did him forever. So I would say throw those guys into the mix. Give them a shot at having a game each.
Well, Al Michaels was the one that killed Boomer in the booth.
Yeah. Boomer hates Al Michaels.
Yeah, well, and Al feels the same.
Boomer knew in about 5 seconds that Al doesn't know anything about football, and he didn't really want to hear his opinion on anything. Just set me up for the next concept here. Oh, yeah. But he's very good. He knows the game inside out. And when you listen to him on the radio when he was doing Monday Night Football, oh, boy.
Right. He was part of the A team on Westwood One. He did the Super Bowl, and he gave it up.
Yeah. He and I traveled together a lot then to the Monday night games. It was always fun to go with him because his prep on the plane, we'd always have a little private plane. So because I quiz him on stuff and get him into some combination of events that could happen. But I just appreciated how hard the guy worked at it. Plus, he knows football like Al Michaels has no clue, really, at all. But Boomer, when he played,
here we go.
He was the best prep quarterback I ever knew.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And we are to the midway point of Miller and Moulton on this Friday. The Diamond District bonus hour is 1 hour away. Mark Packer will kick off the bonus hour. Kaitlin free to talk a little Preakness in about 35 minutes' time. But Pat Kirwan joins us at this time, NFL Radio, moving the chains. Weekdays 3 to 7 during the season. He even throws in a Saturday show. Then he's part of CBS's NFL Today show on Sundays. Pat joining us once again, courtesy of Pinchers, Tampa to Key West, and a whole bunch of points in between. Pinchers, where you can't fake fresh. Pat, how are you?
I'm doing fine. And, there's always storylines going on out there. And I know, David, you'll pay very close attention to the schedule. I'm not so much interested, but now that I see how they're stirring up the CBS and the Fox combination of games, what's the first thing I looked at? We have the Arizona Cardinals 3 times. We have the Panthers 3 times, and 2 of them are back-to-back weeks. That's quite exciting if you're in my position. And then they threw us a real nice bone. The Minnesota Vikings, they should be working on last place themselves. So, yeah, good deal. All I know is we used to have a lot of quarterbacks in the AFC. We don't see them as much as we used to.
No, you don't. And they have put the 1 o'clock games into the witness protection program, basically, Pat. I mean, it used to be 1 o'clock was everything. And now the way the networks between Thursday, Sunday, Monday night, 1 o'clock games aren't what they were.
No, and I think I wouldn't say serious note, but David will figure it out. 1 o'clock games is when coaches are on the hot seat. The bad teams, and the coach has a chance of being fired. Coach, all right, here it is. 1 o'clock coaches or 4 o'clock coaches? Who has the worst job security?
I would say 1 o'clock coaches for what you mentioned, because if you're playing in a Thursday night, 4:25 Sunday night, Monday night, you're probably a good team.
Yes. And the 1 o'clock, and all of us are old enough, me older than you guys, back in the day when we all fell in love with the NFL, it was nothing like 1 o'clock football. That's when you sat down with him, and you really got into the game. Maybe after the 1 o'clock game, you went out in the yard and played with your friends and your brother for an hour. But 1 o'clock football on Sunday was a big deal. Now it's a dinosaur.
Well, it is interesting, Pat, because the only demo that the NFL doesn't dominate is the younger demo. And when you keep taking away 1 o'clock games, you keep taking that opportunity away for the father-son to watch the big game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. We have a lot of ladies that follow our show and call in all the time. I ask them every time. I said, how'd you get involved with football? 99% of them. My dad. We sat and watched football together on Sunday afternoons. So you're right about that. And I think they underestimate 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock to me should have at least one big-time marquee game to kick off the day. And they don't see it that way. And it is what it is, but we'll go. Oh, how about this one? This was on the news the other day. I can't verify this number, but a guy was assigned the research of if I want to buy every service that's going to show games, the yearly bill is $1,600. Well, I said, wait a second. We're not watching football yearly. We're watching it for 6 months. So that becomes a different number. That's $266. Yeah, come on, fellas.
No, Pat. It's closer to 800 because the Sunday ticket alone is $350. The number's 850. The number's 850.
No, but for all the services was $1,600 a year. And I said, well, we're not watching football for the year.
Right, but to buy the 4 or 5 streaming services that are doing football, to buy them even just to watch the games when they're being shown, then to buy Sunday ticket and what have you, it's $855. But even then, Pat, if I'm the NFL, and I won't say this publicly, but if I'm the NFL,
this is publicly.
Okay, well, but privately I go, you do know that's $3 a game. We have 200, and if you include playoff games, we have 285 games. Times that by 3, it's literally $855. I think it's a pretty good product for $3 a game if I was the NFL, and I'd drop the mic and I'd walk away.
Well, you provoked this thought and question for me. You can keep your $3 a game for Arizona and Carolina.
Okay. Fair enough.
Why don't they have selective game watching? Everyone who calls our show wants to know, why can't I customize my schedule?
Don't you think that's the next frontier, if you will, in the 2030s?
They already know how to do it. Why are they
I
holding
don't.
off?
I don't personally, because it would be less money. You're not going to be able to charge the $350 if I just want to get the Detroit Lions living in Southwest Florida, or I want to get just the Pittsburgh Steelers, or whatever the case may be. I want to get 18. It would be cheaper. Well, all the people that are buying Sunday ticket are doing it for the majority of the people who buy NFL Sunday ticket or the season pass are doing it for their team. They're not doing it for the reasons that the three of us would. Well, you guys don't do it because you're in studios on weekends, but I'm doing it so I can watch every game, not a game. Most people get it so they can watch their game. So they're already paying $350 for their game. Why would I give them a discounted rate?
Yeah, fair enough. But I get that request all the time. Oh, that's right. The fans want something. The league's not interested in giving the fans what they want.
Hell no. They spent 2 hours watching a schedule show on television about a piece of paper being released, Pat. And two networks do 2-hour shows on it. And
Mark,
people are riveted to it.
Well, I try to teach them not to be riveted to it. I go, there's nobody in the league who's a coach or a player who gives a damn about, they care about the following things. Who we playing first? That's how we're going to set up our summer camp schedule. And then how many times am I playing on a short week? Now they care about that. That's it.
Pat, and we all have a tendency to think that things are more dramatic now than they were 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. I do think there were a little more scheduling quirks this year than in years I can remember. Maybe it's because of the Christmas being on a Wednesday and the NFL insisting on playing. But, I mean, Pat, to have not one but 2 teams who don't play a division game in the first 10 weeks of the season, and then the Steelers and Bears have to play all their division games.
Yeah, bad.
Oh, and then the Steelers final. I mean, granted, Very rarely do you have a division where everybody's above 500, like the Steelers division. Then, I mean, the Steelers' last 8 games, Pat, honestly, I don't know in the history of the league if a team has ever had an 8-game stretch where every single opponent had a winning record the year before. That 6 division games, the Chiefs and the Eagles, the Steelers' final 8 games. I mean, Pat, that's brutal.
Oh, yeah. No complaints about that. I was looking at, I think it was Atlanta yesterday. Now, Atlanta's trying to be an upstart team, and their first 3 games, I believe, are Pittsburgh, Philly, and Kansas City.
Right.
Whatever's left of them then has 3 division games in a row after that. And no one's coming out of the NFC South as a wild card. So their lives are on the line after the 3 brutal games to start the year. But I don't care about all this stuff. These are what callers call me about. I go, it's one at a time. Like when they say San Francisco's favored in every game, is there a way to make a bet on that they won't win 17? Because I'd love to make that bet.
But that is part of the schedule. I mean, we looked at the Patriots. We looked at their schedule before it came out, just who their opponents are. Are they going to be favored in a game this year? And it looks like they won't.
Well, they set us all up. Last week they announced they had the worst roster in the NFL. Yeah. First they tell us that, and then a week later they tell us they're underdogs in every game. Yeah, but they don't have the Cardinals and the Panthers like we do.
Do you care? And you said, for the most part, the schedule you don't care about. 9 teams with 3-game homestands, 4 teams with 3-game road trips. The 9, usually there's 3 or 4 teams that have, home and away. But 9 teams with 3-game homestands, that to me seems also a little bit quirky.
Yeah. They used to blame the stadium facility issues, but they can't do that anymore. Here's the real problem, I think, and I can't study it because I would be interested in it, and I'm not. When you keep pulling out, like, look at Christmas. Look at the 4 quarterbacks on Christmas. On a Wednesday, on a short week. Look at the 4 quarterbacks. You ever lose 2 of those guys because they had to play on a short week? Look at them. Those 4 quarterbacks. I think they're all AFC quarterbacks.
By the way, the quarterbacks are Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud.
Yeah. Short week. You've got your $100 million guys on a short week. Now, they don't really consider those issues, but this is how guys get hurt. And the NFL loves to tell that little fib that guys don't get hurt any harder or more often on Thursday Night Football. What they never say is how many guys couldn't play because they couldn't recover in time. That doesn't count, does it? Nope. Yeah, short week football. What are they going to do, David? This is right to you because Mark and I will laugh at the answer. If Christmas falls on a Tuesday, how are they going to set the teams up to be able to be eligible to play in that one? They'd have to play on a Friday.
What I wondered is, would they just extend the week, if you know what I mean? That usually the week ends with the Monday Night Football game. I wonder the year that Christmas is on a Tuesday, does the week just end?
I'll tell you what they do right now. Monday Night Football will not be played on Christmas Eve. They will take Christmas Eve off, and Monday Night Football will be on Christmas Day. You can write it down.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah. Anyway, that's the schedule. Now, hopefully we never talk about it again until we're into the season.
Well, get ready next year. I guess it's already because next year Christmas will be on a Thursday, and I guess one's going to be Netflix and one's going to be Amazon.
Of course, unless another service shows up that has money. How did you think about the Netflix thing and how they just went right inside this? They didn't have a contract with those guys and they just dropped 2 games on them.
Well, and one of the more interesting things I heard too, and we've talked about this just with general streaming, is that it's very difficult to switch from a streaming service to a network broadcast. What they're doing on Christmas is making sure no one flips to the NBA at all, ever during the day, that they stay on Netflix for the entirety of the NFL package and never even think about watching a basketball game. That's what they're trying to do.
I don't think it's even that hard for them to do. I think they found out last year too.
Well, At 30 seconds, aren't I guess we're surprised they're so hard line about the college football playoff because scheduling the games that they scheduled on that Saturday before Christmas. I mean, they are really sticking it to college football, and they're also sticking it to one of their broadcast partners, ABC ESPN, who has exclusivity for the playoff. More on that and Pat's comments about Scotty Scheffler. We'll explain.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
When was the last time you guys had Mike Westhoff on?
I was thinking that when I heard him on your show yesterday.
We had him on when they changed the kickoff rule, right?
Yeah, but or did
he got into it yesterday?
Yeah, well, you know what? He divulged more. Like there was when we had him on, he specifically said before he went on that he didn't want to get into specifics because he didn't want to divulge what he was going to do.
Yeah, well, I ran into him in a restaurant the other night with his girlfriend, and we had a great long conversation. And it turns out his girlfriend listens to Moving the Chains every day. She wanted to meet Hardcore Holly. You know, that was how deeply she's in show. So we just kept rambling on about the stuff. And I said, you got to come on the show. We got to get into this. And he said, great. So he decided to. And I think it's because she said she was listening. But you heard him. We had it for a half hour. We went.
Oh, I know.
I pinned him down on penalties, kickoff strategy, that whole dirty ball thing that he's got going on.
I know. I was surprised he got into the detail that he did with you because he basically just told teams the two ways that the Broncos are going to kick off.
Yep. And where.
Yes.
And how they're going to handle.
Right.
Which the last thing we covered was coverage. And
yes.
I said to him, you gotta be, are you thinking about waves? Like send 5 guys in and have 6 behind it or 5 behind it to cover the field for a breakthrough. And he said, yes, we are going to use a principle like that. Sometimes 4. It was really interesting because he's so pissed off that the league didn't invite him in.
I know.
To develop it. He brought that up on his own. I knew he would too. You believe that, league? I've got the best record ever, and they don't bring me in. But we're going to play it again, I think. So we got a lot of people that missed it, said they want to hear it. Mike was in the mood.
I loved when Mike said, and for those of us that know him and know his life and schedule and what have you, but I loved when he said, yeah, I got my guys doing it. I'm not there. I got the best arrangement ever. Okay, and that's that's Westall basically saying, "Yeah, I made a deal with Sean Payton. I'll come back, but I'm just not going to be there January through July 4th. I'll show up in late July, early
Yeah.
August."
Yeah, and he's got guys doing all the work.
Yep.
But here's what he said to me in the restaurant. Don't repeat this to him.
Well,
It was-
remember, we're on Twitch.
We're on Twitch. Too many people here.
People can hear you. All right,
Yeah.
there's just people. There's a couple hundred people listening to us right now.
Hello, you guys.
Okay. So
he had some very funny ideas.
Oh,
about the whole thing, and at the end of the day, I was roaring laughing. We were in. Oh, you know what? Pinterest just bought the place too. What the heck was it?
by the way,
Chops.
yes, Brett Bielema was at a Pinchers in Naples last night. The Illinois coach.
Yeah. Well, Mike was really interested in talking. And I said, this is an X and O show. And he goes, you bring the questions, I'll answer. And he did.
Yeah, he did.
We talked coverages, we talked the kick style, we talked penalties.
I was listening. I was running an errand and then picking up my granddaughter. I was listening to almost the whole thing. Mike started and he interviewed himself. Like, you got him going, and he was asking and answering questions himself.
It's why because I texted him after the thing, and he talked to me for about a half hour, started giving me what he was going to do on plays, and he's like, I can't come on the air and do this. He didn't want to tell me, and I'm like, who the hell, Mike? Who am I going to tell? Like, I know somebody.
I think in just our discussion at the restaurant, he had to first adjust to the idea that they invented this without him. And then he had to think through, what does this mean? And then he had to think about the kind of players. We talked about that a lot. Like, how many offensive linemen are you going to put in that return unit?
Yes, it was interesting, and which you get into. So now exactly who do I want on the field?
Yeah.
Where before it was easy, who you had. You had a bunch of guys who could run really fast so they could get down there. Now it's like, do I want linebackers on the field?
I think you want, the more I talk to him, I think you might want as many guys who know how to rush the passer.
Here we go.
On the coverage unit, because you have to beat a single block.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Pat Kirwan joins us, and we normally just talk football, but we're going to detour here for a second. We're well aware, those texting in the Twitch chat room. Hey, do you know Scotty Scheffler? Yeah, we know Scotty Scheffler was he arrested?
He's been arrested. They said that the report from the Louisville Police Department is that he didn't stop and that he dragged an officer a few feet, and that officer sustained minor injuries.
Right.
So
that's their story, and that's why they and so he wasn't just detained, he was arrested. He was put in cuffs, he was put in the back of a car, he was taken downtown, and there is a mugshot, correct?
Yes. Oh yeah.
So it's also been reported he's now been released. The play was delayed about an hour and a half. There was a tragic car accident near the golf course, a bus involved. Someone died. That's why there was a traffic backup. Scheffler went around traffic, and there'll be a debate as to whether or not who was in the wrong. Anyway, so we're aware of the story. Pat, we got to talking about the times that we could in sports remember when something like this happened, and there are three famous ones with the Super Bowl. Obviously, Stanley Wilson with the Bengals, Eugene Robinson the night before the Super Bowl after winning the Bart Starr Award with the Falcons, Barrett Robbins with the Raiders went AWOL. Okay, two of the three didn't play in the game. Robinson did play in the game, but we're just curious. You were in NFL front offices for a quarter century. Ever have anything crazy within 24 hours of kickoff in which you're on the phone with police or you're at a police station?
No, thank goodness that we never got. As I recall, everything I can think of, we didn't have one of those kind of conflicts. But we did have a player go MIA. And he had a history. He had some mental issues when he was with a different team, and we thought we had the thing monitored well, and he was responding to our concern for him all the time. But then one day he just flipped out, and he landed up on a subway train for a week. And when the train went to the yard, he just slept in the train, and he didn't know where he was or what he was doing. And finally they found him.
So you didn't know his whereabouts for a week?
We did not know where he was. We tracked down where he used to live, where his apartment. Oh, it started with going to his apartment. Obviously, we couldn't find him.
Right.
And I don't want to go through his name, but he
Right.
did play for the Steelers before us. And Coach Cower and I, who have become very close friends, we did talk about some of the concerns when he played for them. And he said it was never that, but it would be like a day he'd disappear. And this was a sad
Right. By the way,
situation.
do you call the NFL security for help
Yeah.
after 24 hours?
Yeah, sometimes and even in the case of that player, we notified them that we were signing him, and that I knew without having to ask that they knew some of the Steelers situation stuff, and we thought he had been recovered for most of it, and so they knew all about him when we got him, and I didn't waste much time because we had a practice, and the media is at the practice, and now he's not at practice, so there's no hiding anything. And there's no reason to even attempt to protect him, because the second he's not at practice, you're getting the question, where was he? Well, when we realized 2 or 3 days into this that we're going to have to answer that every day, the league, the league security is really a bunch of retired FBI guys.
Right.
I hate to simplify that, but that's really who they are. And they have a lot of resources of their own to start to, get the real search going. But can you imagine a guy that stayed on a subway train for a week?
No. How many teams take the background checks seriously? I mean, is every team now, because of the security in the NFL and the things that are going on, does every team take the background checks as seriously as the next, or are there still teams that maybe don't?
Well, the answer I get from people I worked with and people that I know very well was it's risk reward. We all know it. The background check is critical, but the better the player, the more likely they are to take a chance, if you will. If you're just an average player or below average, and the background check bumps you right out of the league. But if you're a great player and you've got problems, they're going to try, and they'll like to say things like, we're going to set up a program for them. I don't want to mention the player's name that we all passed on the first round. And the team that took him, they had already had a PR operation on with all the things they were going to do to help him. And it turned out that the player played well and really didn't have many problems than an average guy. So it worked, but a lot of times it doesn't. And then the other part of that, Mark, is if I've taken the chance one year and it worked, and I took the chance the next year and it didn't work, we're at the crossroads. And now if you take the third guy that's a background check problem, then you can get yourself fired over that stuff. So,
but I mean, Pat, if you think about what the equivalent is, the PGA is a major, okay,
Yeah.
but it's not the most important major. So let's just call it a playoff game. This is Scotty Scheffler's #1 player in the world. This is a star quarterback getting apprehended because of a traffic violation or what have you, whether he was in the right or wrong. And all of a sudden it's 2 hours before kickoff and you're going, where's so-and-so? I think he's been detained by police. Wait, what?
Yeah. So when my first reaction to all that, which is, I think, something we have to think about all the time. I think Mark's asked me a couple times, these guys that get DWIs because they're driving their own car, when there's a service you can get, the league will provide, so you never have to get in the front seat of the car.
I know, 24/7, 365 too. There should never be a DUI in the NFL.
But
ever.
the NFL players are afraid that the idea that they were picked up at a bar at 2 a.m. will get back to their club. That's why they won't do it. So it makes no sense. But if you think about even Scheffler, and yes, it wasn't anything like that. It was a potentially late for the tournament, whatever it's going to be. You would think that a car service was picking all these guys up.
When their
Why
cars
is
are
anyone driving
identified.
a car?
Right, their cars are identified. I mean, most of them drive themselves. Maybe their caddy will drive them, but their cars are identified.
Yeah,
But
I don't think you should, in any of these things, you should be driving yourself, because it could be a lot of different reasons. You could be in an accident, etc. Don't be the driver. If we just said that, and these major tournaments, you made a reference to it as a playoff game. Well, for the amount of money they're going to spend on the purse, don't you think for about, I don't know, 10 grand, you could drive all the top players there in a car service?
Drive all of them there for that, Pat.
Thank you.
But that's, part of the tour's deal is they have deals with who? Rental car companies. And part of that is that the rental cars go to the players. I mean, there's a business component to this as well. PGA's got to keep their money coming in from all their sponsors.
Good. And then the PGA can send a list of drivers over to Hertz or whoever it is and say, these guys will be picking the cars up. These are minor hurdles. But, I think everything, you got to protect these guys from themselves and from the situations that are out there.
So if you're just waking up, Scheffler detained, then arrested, about 2 hours ago when the incident happened? He was on his way to the course about 2 hours before his tee time, which was supposed to be right around now. The tournament got delayed an hour and a half because of the fatal car accident on the other side of the course, and that's why traffic was backing up. And so play is has resumed, I believe. Scheffler now will tee off a little after 10 o'clock, but he was arrested. All right.
Charged with second-degree assault of a police officer, third-degree criminal mischief, reckless driving, disregarding traffic signals from an officer directing traffic. He's been released on his own recognizance, according to Pat 40.
Well,
we've got about 30 seconds, Pat. If this was the NFL.
Don't get me involved in politics here, but we release everybody for everything they do nowadays. So.
But we're just laughing at, so when's the next time Louisville and Valhalla is going to get a major? Because if you imagine if something like this happened before a Super Bowl, that city wouldn't see one of these suckers ever again.
No, they would not.
Pat, have a great weekend. Thanks for your time.
Have a great weekend, fellas. Go Blades.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
What's the station down the hall that always has the bells and stuff?
B103, 103.9.
What is that for? They just
Pop music. That's their little thing. That's their...
That's their shtick.
Yes.
Apparently, there is a rule, Jason Sobel, Rule 5.3a, under when to start a round. Exception 3, committee decides that exceptional circumstances prevented you from starting on time. Under this provision, there is no breach of rule and no penalty.
Okay. What do they hold? I mean,
I know his tea time's in an hour and a half, but just if by chance he were to miss it, in theory,
he has to WD. Kev, are you serious? He's got to go shoot 59 today is what he's got to go do.
He will not withdraw. Are you kidding me?
You're nuts. He has to withdraw? No.
Listen, seriously, how long till Valhalla gets another major?
Never.
I think there's
never.
I don't know if they get one before 2050.
Pat McAfee just learned the number one golfer in the world is 6'3", 170 pounds. I just learned his middle name was Alexander.
Did you see the mugshot?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how many jokes they can make about this because now there's felonies involved. The cops have doubled and tripled down here. Shane McNichol, orange jumpsuit is the new green jacket.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. How good is that?
Remember, we got a guest here.
We can just go 8-10. We don't have to,
Yeah.
Okay.
Kaitlin, have you ever had a horse jockey or trainer arrested before a big race?
Kaitlin, more exciting weekend in Louisville. The Derby or what's going on at the PGA?
She probably doesn't even know. She's probably at the practice right now. By the way, more of our listeners have been detained by the police than not, 51% to 49%.
Wow.
She's not picking up. I'll keep calling, though.
Okay.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour, Mark Packer to join us. Coming up at the top of the hour, ACC had their spring meetings in Amelia Island earlier this week. Mark was there. He also was sitting next to the ACC commissioner on his flight home. So we'll talk to Mark about how the meetings went. How's the family holding up a year after, all the reports and 7 to 12 members were getting up and leaving, and we know what's going on with Florida State and Clemson. So we'll talk to Mark Packer about the ACC coming up at the top of the hour.
We've been talking a little NFL in and around Scotty Scheffler because he got arrested this morning.
Mugshot and everything.
Arrested for a felony. Second-degree assault of a police officer.
The assault is that it was a traffic incident and a cop jumped on Scheffler's car when he was, committing a traffic violation as far as the cop thought, and the cop was dragged and suffered minor injuries. So therefore, that is the assault. We will get back to that story coming up in a moment. That story taking place outside the PGA Championship in Louisville. Louisville was bustling a couple of weeks ago for a different reason. The Kentucky Derby thing. Kaitlin Free, kind enough to join us. Nobody has handicapped a Triple Crown race better than Kaitlin did the Kentucky Derby 2 weeks ago. Kaitlin, congratulations on being so right in a 20-horse race. How are you?
I'm good. I live about 3 miles from Valhalla, so things are a little bit clown shoes this morning. Definitely were a little bit better a couple of weeks ago, but I'm good. Thank you.
Well, the Preakness, obviously with Muth being scratched, that changes the race dramatically. Baffert had two horses. Now he just has the one. How much does this mean for Mystic Dan with Muth now being out?
Well, it kills the price on Mystic Dan. So if you liked him over Muth, you were getting a much better price. Had Muth been in the race, you were probably getting, anywhere from 3 to 1, 7 to 2 on Mystic Dan. Now he's going to be 7 to 5, 8 to 5, maybe even close to even money when all is said and done. I think his price is going to continually go down if there keeps being rain in the forecast. He's a horse that very much favors an off-track type of a surface. If there's some moisture in the track, I would, think that he's going to be the horse that is going to handle that the best. That's how he has ran previously. The track at the Kentucky Derby was listed as fast. I think it was a little bit maybe more trending toward good. It still had a little bit of moisture in it, but really, Moose coming out, it doesn't really change the pace projection. It just kind of takes the horse to be out of that race for Mystic Dan.
Should Mystic Dan be this solid of a favorite? I understand he won the Derby, but he was not considered one of the horses really to beat in the Derby. Is this just a case of, he won the Derby, therefore, or is he just clearly better than the rest of the horses in this field?
I think it's kind of both. He won the Derby, so obviously, the Derby favorite is going to get a lot of fanfare coming into the Preakness. But he had to have a lot of things go his way in the Kentucky Derby, and they did. He had by far one of the cleanest trips up the inside. If Brian Hernandez maybe makes one different move, he doesn't quite hang on or he doesn't get there. So a lot of things had to go his way. There are some pretty enticing new shooters in this race, but I do think he is a deserving favorite, especially with Moose out of the race.
One of the new shooters I like is Tuscan Gold. Chad Brown's horse. He skipped the Derby. He's done this before with other horses and won the Preakness. What are your thoughts on Tuscan Gold?
Tuscan Gold is going to be the pick for me for the reasons you mentioned. We've seen Chad Brown do this. People are starting to catch on to it. He almost did it last year, but National Treasure just got the better of his horses. They're late in the Preakness, but they were kind of ding-donging all the way around. But it worked with cog computing. It worked with early voting. They're very, very similar types of horses. Horses that kind of would have been close or would have qualified for the Kentucky Derby when all was said and done, but Chad was patient. Some of these horses are lightly raced. So he says, you know what? I'm not going to press onto the Derby with this horse. I'm going to give him an extra 2 weeks, and I'm going to go to the Preakness. I love this move for this horse. He's a horse that is trending upward. He's moving forward on numbers and figures, and if he takes another step forward like he has in all three of his starts, I think it will put him kind of bang right there, numbers and figures-wise, with Mystic Dan.
All right. I'm putting money again on Catching Freedom. Did it in the Derby. Why am I wrong?
It's hard to argue against, especially in a little bit of a smaller type of a field, that he wouldn't be able to have a better chance to run a little bit better. But overall, he just followed Mystic Dan all the way around and didn't quite make a lot of moves in the Kentucky Derby. So my thing with Catching Freedom is he's a horse that is on the improve, but he's so incrementally and smallly improving in every race. I think maybe his best efforts are coming up sometime in the summer, and he's going to be potentially a really good type of a late 3-year-old to a 4-year-old. This still may just be a little bit too big of a jump for him in the Preakness, but he's going to run well.
Kaitlin, there was a time that most of the, when we went to the Preakness, these horses had all run the Derby, and throughout time now, less and less horses are running. Do you think that the horse world should change? We've talked about this before. Should it be the Derby in May, the Preakness in June, and 4th of July weekend, the Beaumont? Do you think there should be any change to the schedule of the Triple Crown?
No, I absolutely don't. The Triple Crown is supposed to be hard. It's something that is supposed to be nearly impossible to do. That's why in over 100 years, almost 150 years, only 13 horses have, been able to accomplish this feat. Not easy to bring a horse and make them run 3 times in 5 months and do it against fresh horses every single time. It's something that, is just so hard to do. You have to have far and away the best horse in that division. But honestly, if they wanted to make any type of a change, I would say maybe add another week between the Derby and the Preakness. I would stretch it out to 6 weeks instead of 5. But honestly, I wouldn't change it at all because, it's not just about the Triple Crown. There's so many other variables because they run so many big races on these undercards. If you moved these big days, you would be effectively moving a bunch of other graded stake races, kind of upsetting the apple cart and other divisions that have races centered around these Triple Crown races. So it would affect more than just the 3 Triple Crown races. It would kind of really impact the entire racing schedule as a whole. So they would have to really, really think about it. But the Triple Crown is supposed to be hard.
Kaitlin Free, horse racing analyst and reporter. Follow her on X, Kaitlin E. Free. Kaitlin E. Free. All right. We were very impressed, and congratulations. You not only told us the horses that were going to be in the money with the Derby, you broke down exactly how you thought they would run and how the race would play out, and you nailed that as well. So the floor is yours. How do you see the Preakness playing out?
Well, this is an interesting race with Moose out. I don't really think that the pace projection changes that much because he wasn't going to be for the place behind the stablemate Imagination. I think Imagination is going to kind of be your pace horse in this race. And then kind of my thoughts are Mystic Dan is going to be very, very close. Once again, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't be up just off the pace, kind of sitting right behind Imagination like he kind of was in the Derby behind Track Phantom and Just Steel. Those types of horses, Fierceness was on the outside. So I think it'll be Imagination. Mystic Dan, I think there's a chance that Seize the Gray is going to be forwardly placed. That's historically kind of the way he has ran. I think, Catching Freedom, Tuscan Gold, and Just Steel were kind of going to be in that mid-pack second flight. I mean, you're going to have horses that are like Uncle Heavy and Nugatu, kind of a little bit farther back that are your late running closing types. So I think Tuscan Gold and Mystic Dan, kind of in that second flight, Mystic Dan's going to probably make the first move. Tuscan Gold being a little bit more of a fresh horse, and we've seen Chad Brown make this move with these horses that we discussed that are coming in fresh. I think Tuscan Gold's maybe just going to get the better of him, kind of peaking at the right time and just maybe getting up over Mystic Dan. But if the conditions are muddy, may favor Mystic Dan a little bit more. And then a horse that I really want to include in my tries and supers and some of my exactas, I think it's going to be a little bit of a jump to see him win, especially if the pace isn't hot. But he is 2 for 2 over and off track. He wants to go a route of ground that is Uncle Heavy for Butch Reed. So this is a horse I'm going to be keying in a lot of my tries and supers because I think he's going to run a huge race tomorrow.
Kaitlin, congratulations on all the attention that you got after your brilliant analysis of the Derby. Thanks for making time for us, and hopefully we could catch up with you again before the Belmont, which will be in Saratoga in a few weeks. Kaitlin, thank you.
All right, thank you, and we will absolutely catch up with Belmont.
Kaitlin E. Free. Kaitlin with a K, the letter E, Free is how you follow her on X. Her breakdown of the Derby is the best breakdown before a race that Miller and Moulton have ever seen after you watch how the race plays out. It was amazing. It literally was as if she had seen the race and then told us how it was going to play out.
She was in the DeLorean, and she just went back to watch the Derby, apparently.
Exactly. Go find it. You'll be amazed. That's why we had to have her on the show. So there you go. So between Kurt Becker yesterday and Kaitlin Free, if you're playing the Preakness, there you go. Download if you missed it. You want to write it down again, millerandmoulton.com. Download what you missed. But the big story in sports, it's happened over the course of the last 2 hours and 15 minutes. World number 1 in golf, Scotty Scheffler, arrested on his way to the PGA Championship.
Give it up to Barstool, who already has his mugshot with a free Scotty t-shirt available for sale at their store.
It's no laughing matter, though, the charges.
No, it is not.
I mean, like you said, the police, they ain't playing around. Okay? Now, we arrested him for a reason, is what they said. So, second-degree assault of a police officer. And
yeah.
That was, we think, in our expert legal opinion, that's because the officer, after Scheffler left the traffic lane and was driving around, which apparently a lot of the pros had been instructed to drive around going to the course. We'll find out afterwards. I mean, I hope Scheffler talks about this, but my guess is he'll hide behind legal proceedings and I can't talk about it. But second-degree assault of a police officer because the police officer attached himself to the vehicle and got dragged. Third-degree criminal mischief. I have to admit that seems like a stretch. Reckless driving. Oh, okay. Disregarding traffic signals from an officer directing traffic. Think there's any way they pleaded all the way down to that? He pleads no contest to it, pays a fine, and this thing goes away. He was arrested, by the way, and released.
Reported in the very beginning is that the police officer attached himself to the car. If the guy jumped on the damn car and that's how he got hurt, shouldn't that be on the police officer? I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. No, I wouldn't plead down. I'd fight the damn thing.
But those were the charges, and he was arrested. He was put in the back of a police car in handcuffs. He was taken to the police station. He was arrested. There is a mugshot.
Which leads us to our poll question. Scotty Scheffler is being detained by the police. Have you ever been detained by the police? And hey, let's give it up to our audience. Over half you have. Way to go, you criminals, you.
Well, and one of the three, or I'm a yes.
Oh, no, so I've been detained.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Both Miller and Moulton have been detained.
I've got some time to go, though. So
please don't.
Right. Especially since Mark knows your parents. Okay. Honestly, he doesn't need that phone call. He's got 2 kids of his own. He doesn't need to be getting a phone call if you get detained. Hey, Mark, can you help me out? Yeah, sure. What's going on? Trent's at the police station. What?
I want him to shoot 59 today.
I do too. I want him to tear it up. Okay. I want his caddy to dress in prison stripes tomorrow. I want him to go all Ricky Fowler orange Puma outfit. Yes. I want him to win by 7. I want this to be Tiger in the year 2000.
We now know that Scotty Scheffler is 6'3", 170. His middle name is Alexander.
Wait a minute. I'm betting he's more than 170.
Well,
I know.
that's not what it says on the mugshot. I mean, I'm looking at the police record.
But they just take that off the license. I mean, come on. That's all. I mean, it's not like they weigh you. I mean, they don't weigh you. You don't step on a scale down.
No, but
station. So I don't know. I'm just thinking that there's a few more pounds on him there. Although he still had quickness on the court. I'm telling you, the basketball video is good. So yeah, who says golf is boring? One golfer in the world got arrested, and it's not Tiger Woods.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. I mean, 32-31, something like that today.
Oh yeah, I hope it goes so low. And yeah, that's right, because his caddy's got a personal thing. Somebody's, I think, graduating something, and so the caddy's leaving, and right, he's having a
Scotty
fill-in.
Scheffler's Q rating just went through the roof.
Oh yeah. So apparently Scheffler just getting to Valhalla now.
Paul
So
from the Dan Patrick Show put a tweet out, said the Scheffler collection.
Oh my God. The material's so good. This is going to be such a good thing for him. This really is.
I mean, Jeff Darlington being at the right place, the right time is amazing. This is from one of the all-time great gets of just being there. Just think about where we'd be if Darlington wasn't there. We'd have no idea what the hell's going on. None.
Nope.
And I think his video will help Scheffler in the long run.
Oh, totally. First off, if Louisville police can't afford this to go to trial, I mean, seriously, you'd have other golfers that would then have to. Scheffler would call on some of his buddies. They'd fly in and they'd testify that, yeah, we were given instructions to drive around, and no, this. I'm telling you, they're going to hope that he'd accept a plea down to that last one. Take it, pay a fine, and have it move on. And I'm with you, Mark. If I'm Scheffler, I wouldn't plead to a thing.
Go Eli, double bird, baby.
Totally. Not a thing. Nope. If he was doing what everybody else was doing, then no. I don't think Scheffler will get an apology, but can't really Paul the story for his son.
I mean, he needs to show up at the Arkansas-Kentucky game wearing Arkansas gear. I mean,
totally.
We got Mark. Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour, final hour of our week. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X, and that's where you can go. Mark's Twitter handle, my Twitter handle, or our Twitter handle as a show, and vote in our poll question. Scotty Scheffler detained by police. Have you ever been detained by police? And our audience is about 50-50 split right now, 53-47.
There's a lot about us and our audience.
Yeah, that's all. Simple question. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton. We asked Mark Packer a bunch of questions when he comes on the show. We will not ask him that one. Although, just curious, have you had any? You had jury duty 2 weeks ago, didn't you?
Yes, I did, and it was all about the police, and that's why the judge and the attorneys threw me out of the courtroom. And, I said, I swear to you, I told them, I said, I'm in a profession in which people are paid a ridiculous sum of money with absolutely no talent. And I said, when it comes to first responders, teachers, firemen, cops, you go down the whole list. I said, they're so underappreciated and underpaid. I said, sometimes I have a real problem with that, especially in the business that I'm in. And that took about 20 seconds for everybody to say, Mr. Packer, you've been dismissed from jury duty. And that was the end of it.
That's very good. That's better than because usually just saying you're in the media gets you thrown out. I mean, you doubled down and went to bat for the first responders. So that's a quick exit. That's good work. That's exceptional work by you, Mark.
Well, what the story I didn't tell you is that this was day 2. And first day, I took a picture of the jury room on my phone. And they called me in the next morning It said, Mr. Packer, did you take a picture? I said, I did. And they said, what was the purpose of that? I said, I didn't think there was anything against taking a picture of a sign. I said, there was no people. I didn't know what the case was. They said, well, there was somebody that responded to you on Twitter, and your response was, can I just say they're guilty and go home? I'm ready to move on. And they said, Mr. Packer, did you write that on social media? I said, I did. And the defense lawyer said, oh, Mr. Packer, do you think you can have an unbiased opinion in this case? I said, absolutely. He goes, well, what was the meaning of that? I said, sir, there's a thing called sarcasm. And I said, I know you don't know me, but quite frankly, I said, I've been doing this for 35 years. And so if you were offended, I will certainly apologize to the judge, the attorneys, the defendant, everything else, but I can certainly judge this case. And then they asked me about the whole thing with police, and I gave them the answer, and that was the end of that story. I was home in about 20 minutes.
There you go. And then he was hosting
go.
ACC PM weekdays, 4:00 on the ACC network. Well, we wanted to have you on because, well, we follow you on X, so we know you were at the ACC meetings, obviously, and we won't get into the troubles that you've had with the airline recently, but you were sitting next to the commissioner on the way home, and so we're just kind of curious. So how's life in the pursuit of happiness in the ACC?
I'm going to tell you something. It was the best, worst flight I've ever had. And I have had some beauties with my favorite airline, American Airlines. And it took us 4.5 hours to fly from Jacksonville to Charlotte. But, Mother Nature closed down Charlotte. We circled. We had to go to Atlanta. We had to refuel. We had a medical emergency. We had ambulance. We had paramedics. I mean, it had everything. But the commish was my seating partner. That wasn't planned. It just so happened. But we had a great conversation. And I think we kind of solved the world's issues, to be honest with you. We laughed. We cut up. A lot of the stuff I really can't tell you, to be honest with you, because it was off the record. But it was a fascinating conversation. But going back to your question regarding, Amelia Allen, the spring meetings, was it awkward? I'm sure it was. I wasn't in the room when the ADs got together 8,000 times. But listen, when you got Florida State and Clemson suing and vice versa, the league suing them, there's going to have to be some awkward moments. But quite frankly, and I talked to all the ADs when we were there, they understand it's still business. They still have to figure out 8,000 issues that not only does the ACC have, but really college sports has. So it's an incredibly complex time. It's a fascinating time from a distance trying to figure this thing out. But for the most part, I think everybody came out of there thinking, hey, we got 1,000 things to do, and let's get to work. But at some point in time, there's going to have to be some movement. But I do think the lawsuits are going to take a lot longer than what everybody thinks. I really do.
Do you think there'll be any way for them to settle these lawsuits, to give Florida State a price to get out, if you will, and have this not go all the way to the end?
Well, what's the incentive for the ACC to do that?
I don't know if there is one.
That's my point. So I don't know why would they want to try to negotiate a way to lose 2 pieces of the pie that they can't lose. That's why I think it's going to be a long, long deal. I really do. And again, you ask one question, it leads to 5 others, right? Like, okay, if they left, where are they going? There's been no rhyme or reason to all that kind of stuff. So I don't think the ACC is in any hurry to settle any of these lawsuits. I think they're taking the position that, quite frankly, we got the grant of rights. Everybody agreed to it. For the last 10 plus years, you've enjoyed writing a check and putting it in your bank, and nobody said boo. And now all of a sudden, you guys want to break this thing up. So, again, I think it's going to be a long, tedious process, and it's going to be very expensive.
What do you make? And we're talking with Mark Packer, ACC PM, 4:00 weekdays on the ACC network. Kind enough to join us once again. Follow Mark on X at Mark Packer. What'd you make of the comments from the one regent in North Carolina about I guess we're going to have to audit North Carolina athletics and tighten up the belt. And he went so far as to say, got to be honest with you, we need to be in a conference that generates more revenue. What'd you make of what he had to say and everything?
I would sense that there's probably a handful of schools in the league that are having that same conversation, but you didn't see it or read about it on social media or in a newspaper or in a television interview. I mean, everybody's kind of in the same boat, David. I mean, it's one of these things that, and I think what gets lost in all this is that the league actually is doing extremely well financially. I mean, it'd be one thing to say, well, I mean, hey, can you catch the Big Ten or the SEC? I don't think they can. I've said that from day one. It's like everybody's like, hey, we're chasing these two great power leagues. They've got better TV deals, and it makes more sense for where they are in terms of what their product is. Why is the ACC thinking that they can catch them? I'm not sure you can. But when you take the Big Ten and the SEC and you put them over there like, hey, they're in another stratosphere, there's not another conference even close to what the ACC is doing financially, much less in terms of winning championships. So I think sometimes that we spend so much time talking about, hey, how are they going to catch the SEC? And I'm like, God, I'm not exactly sure that is really the most important thing. In my opinion, I think the most important thing for the ACC is, can they continue to beat the Big 12? Because, listen, we're going to get to this expanded college football playoff. The Big Ten and the SEC are going to have multiple teams in the dance. And that's an automatic, right?
Sure.
Whatever combination you want with the SEC, the league is great. The Big Ten is going to give you Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and if somebody else gets hot, there's the – so can the ACC figure out a way to get a couple teams in every year? Your conference champ's going to get an automatic bid, and pick whichever team you think that is going to be. But it really is time for the Miamis, the Virginia Techs, the NC States to kind of step up and have one of those breakthrough great years. You kind of expect it with Florida State. You expect it with Clemson. So that's what's going to happen for the ACC.
Who's that next ACC school? To me, the only way to combat this, Mark, is you're not going to be able to keep up the revenue of the Big Ten, but you can keep up with the NIL money. And that may be more important. If we pay more than they do to our players, in essence, shouldn't we get better players?
Well, if that were the case, David, Texas A&M would have won the last 25 national championships. And the last time I checked, they haven't won a damn thing. I mean, they haven't won anything in our lifetime. And they've got more money than God. And, University of Texas, and I love going down to Austin. I love going to College Station. And it looks like Sark has got this thing turned around and all that good stuff. But, Vince Young won a national championship 20 years ago. How much money they got? So just because you got most money doesn't necessarily mean, hey, we're bringing the natty back home. So, I mean, there is a thing called competition and coaching, and sometimes the ball bounces funny, and you got to stay relatively healthy. So, listen, money's important. I'm not trying to, downplay it. But, coaching and development, that's all part of it too. So we'll see where this goes.
What'd you make of Dabo, who is being criticized, maybe is a fair word, in which some people are going, hey, man, you're not getting anybody out of the transfer portal. And he said, among other things, well, to be honest with you, the guys that are in the portal, they couldn't play here.
He's right. I mean, and again, Dabo's a friend. We interviewed him when we were down in Millie Island. And, you think about the, 2,000 players in the portal, more than half of them can't even find a home. Are there players that could play for Clemson? Yeah, but at what cost? I mean, the other thing, too, is Clemson last year won, 9 games? And it's like, man, they fell off the map. How many schools would take 9 wins right now and move forward? He's got the number 1 graduation rate. He's got really good players that put a bunch of dudes in the pros that graduate all their kids. Very seldom do you read about a Clemson player getting arrested, a la Scotty Scheffler. He runs a pretty good program. I'm just saying that, I laugh when everybody talks about, the portal. And it's like, what he's doing is recruiting really good kids, and they graduate, and they play, and they win a lot of games. He's won multiple national championships. He's won half dozen ACC titles. They're in major bowls just about every single year. I mean, I don't really kind of get it. I mean, everybody wants to beat up on him because he's a great soundbite. But as I kidded with him, I said, it's Army, Navy, Air Force, and Clemson. I mean, those are the 4 power leagues, if you will, power schools that had 0 transfers. And he said, yeah, we're kind of a military school and all that stuff. So, listen, he's going to do his thing at some point in time. He may add a transfer here or there, but quite frankly, that's not the way his program's built. And it's kind of hard to argue given his success. So, again, there's a lot of different ways to have success, whether you're a football coach or a radio host. I mean, we've been in that world enough that, you see guys make a ton of money and rank number 1 in rankings and ratings and all that stuff. And there's a lot of different ways to have success. So he's had a pretty good track record. So I'll just let Dabo do his thing.
and you've had a lot of success, and you keep doing your thing, and we appreciate when you make time for us. He's Mark Packer, ACC PM, weekdays, 4 o'clock on the ACC Network. Follow Mark on X at Mark Packer. Mark, be safe. All the best to you and the family, and we'll talk again late summer.
David, Mark, you guys have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
Mark Packer, kind enough to join us once again here on Miller and Moulton. You think Scotty Scheffler's not going to come up on his show today?
I want to see how the crowd are going to be yelling free Scotty. This is going to be something. I hope he shoots 59 today. I really and truly do. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
No, E.B. Hill. That was provided by the Louisville Police Department. Are you talking about like a few years ago, Irish football? It was the SEC Today pregame show when it was Tebow and another former player, and I think Marty Smith, and they were talking about haircuts, and then they got around to talking about, Paul, how's your cut?
Scheffler's back at Valhalla. Apparently was going to the locker room. Marty Smith asked him for a comment, and Scheffler just responded with, "Love you, Marty." And Scheffler's already hired the lawyer that represented Breonna Taylor.
Oh, no. Seriously?
It's on Twitter. He already, yeah.
I'm telling you, this will be the best thing that ever happened to Scotty Scheffler. The ovations that he will get today on the course, although it's raining today and what have you.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
There's going to be more people there now than there would have been 3 hours ago.
Well, it's raining. The traffic's a mess. Maybe not today, but people may decide, you know what? Let's go for the weekend. Let's follow Scheffler.
We were just talking yesterday about his personality and how he's dry.
He is. He's Sampras. He's Duncan. Do you think the next 2 days Scheffler gets a police escort to the course? No, it's funny.
I've seen that once, but I have not seen it again, so I don't know for certain on the lawyer thing. But yeah,
that's pretty quick. You don't have use of your phone when you're down in police station. So it's a 15-minute ride apparently to the course. I don't know how he would have hired him that quickly.
he's got a business manager. He's got people that.
Well, that's true.
And I'm sure that attorney wouldn't have been too tough to get a hold of this morning, knowing what was going on. I think you could connect those dots really quickly, David.
Imagine the receptionist. Scotty Scheffler's manager on line 1.
Yeah, I got that. Let's go.
Well, Breonna Taylor, that was in Louisville, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not like it's a far-fetched thing, if it's true. Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Man, has this been a busy show. We were excited about the show last night when we knew our guest list. I mean, Pat Kirwan, Kaitlin Free to handicap the Preakness, Mark Packer to talk about the ACC. They had their big spring meetings Monday through Wednesday in Amelia Island. He was there. He talked with the commissioner. We just thought this was going to be just, a nice, lighthearted, fun Friday show. And then Scotty Scheffler got himself arrested in the first half hour of the show. Yeah! That's how we're spicing golf up. Hell with the LIV. Let's bring the FBI into it.
If it were the LIV, would they play the Cops theme when Scheffler went to the tee? There's no music on the PGA Tour.
Right. Law and Order theme. Do you play that? Does somebody play that when he's walking up to the first tee? Dun, 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 dun. All right. It's most likely that Scheffler post-round today is going to do one of two things. He's either going to do like Rory, who is not talking about his personal life at all. And he's instructed the people doing the media at the PGA to say beforehand he will not take any questions about his personal life. So Scheffler's going to do one of two things, right, Mark? He's just going to say, listen, I can't talk about this morning.
That's the only thing he's going to say.
Or he'll have some 1 to 3 sentence thing that's been prepared for him, and he'll give that out as an answer.
ESPN Plus just reported that the owner of Valhalla is the one who picked Scotty up from jail and drove him to the court.
I don't want to say that maybe they're taking sides, Scheffler or the police here, but it sounds like they might be taking sides.
And I got to give it up. Brett Martineau, who's helped us get on in Jacksonville, and he's been on the show, and he comes on after us in Jacksonville. He says, and he's so right with this statement. I know social media can be a dangerous place, but the creativity is unmatched when you get a story like Scheffler today. It's
totally,
incredible. It really is.
Yep.
This is when X is at its best. It's absolutely, because it can be horrible, and I get it.
Awful.
Social media can be the worst thing in our society. I totally understand that, and at times it can be the best thing that it gives us.
Right.
Antonio Brown just tweeted out, got Scotty winning this weekend.
Listen, he's been arrested. He's been charged with what? 1 or 2 felonies? He's facing
one felony,
four
misdemeanors, and then a
4
traffic
counts.
violation.
Right. This is the best thing that ever happened to Scotty Scheffler. I just, that may sound ridiculous. They make fun of me for it. First off, his Q rating, people will be sympathetic towards him. Okay. I think he'll probably do the very tight-lipped, say nothing. I can't.
He won't say a word.
What he should do, though, he should come up with one sentence, just one sentence. And Mark, this is what I would advise him to say. And I know you would overrule me. Okay. I literally would say to him, listen, when you go to the podium, they're going to want to ask you about this. Say, I'm not going to take any questions, but there is one thing I want to say. It's all BS. Only say the actual word. That's literally what I would advise him to say. I'm not going to.
I would advise him to say nothing.
I know you would. I know.
Marty Smith from ESPN asked Scotty, when he got out of the car, asked Scotty if he had any comments on what happened this morning. He said, love you, Marty. I have never wanted someone to win a golf tournament more than I want Scotty Scheffler to win the PGA.
He starts the day 5 back of Schauffele. Scheffler at 4 under. Schauffele at 9 under. Poor Xander. That's another thing. Goes out, he shoots 62. No one's ever shot a better round in the history of major championship golf. He's leading a major. He's never won a major. This could be his week. Lifelong dreams. What are we talking about? What are we going to remember the 2024 PGA for? Oh, yeah, that's the tournament. Scheffler got arrested there.
On a couple felony charges.
Right. Over under 2050 the next time Valhalla hosts a major.
David, Valhalla will never, ever host a major again. They won't host a Ryder Cup again. No. How do you go back?
I don't know. You hire drivers for your golfers? I don't know. Listen, they're going to throw a lot.
They can hire drivers, 3-wood, sand wedges, and putters. David,
I'm
not going back.
Has the PGA already announced, like the USGA's got U.S. Women's Opens and U.S. Opens that are already in the 2030s and 2040s even, they've announced. I'm just wondering, has the PGA, have they done that also? Is Valhalla getting another one in 10 years already? Has it been announced? Because otherwise, I'm with you. I don't care how much money they throw on the table. Although the PGA of America is all about money. After all, the Ryder Cup.
By the way, while this has all been going on, the Golf Channel was running an interview with Michelle Wee that was taped. This is like the NHL Network.
Not covering the lockout.
Right.
They're not covering this?
Apparently not.
The number one golfer in the world's being arrested, and you're running pre-taped programming?
Now, I don't know when. That may have ended at some point this morning.
He got arrested at 6:30 in the morning.
I understand.
Well, especially in 2024. I mean, if they could cut away from the NBA Finals in 1994 for OJ, they can definitely cut away from a pre-programmed whatever it is.
I get it. You weren't now. I am curious whether there's a all right. I do need to just throw this out there. Is it possible contractually that they're not like ESPN and ESPN Plus? They've got Thursday, Friday.
Right.
Is it possible contractually the Golf Channel couldn't go live? That's the only thing I'm
I
wondering.
guess it's possible, but they're live from the Masters.
I know, but they have to get permission, that maybe contractually they have it and all that. I don't, it's the only thing I'll throw it out there. It's probably not the case. It's probably, I don't know. They couldn't get people in position in time. Listen, I got picked up literally by a backhoe in Fargo once, okay, because we didn't have anybody who had ever been on air and television to report about this major storm. And I couldn't walk outside my house. And literally a city worker backhoe picked me up. I climbed into the bucket. He drove me to the TV station, dropped me off at the door. I went in and did like 5 hours of live television. And the station manager convinced the mayor of Fargo, public service, we need to be on the air. And so that's why the backhoe met me in my place. I literally climbed in the bucket.
How many adult men with beards are going to go as Scotty Scheffler for Halloween in an orange jumpsuit this year?
Totally. And a golf, don't you have to, because people may not recognize Scheffler, don't you have to have a
green jacket? You got to get a green jacket that you put over the orange jumpsuit.
Golf glove, a putter or a club, something. Aren't you walking around with it? This will be the best thing that ever happened to him. He'll now be the most popular player on tour.
I mentioned it earlier, but Barstool Sports already has a free Scotty shirt out. If I were all of Scheffler's friends, I would be ordering a few dozen of those, and that's how I'd greet him in the locker room tomorrow morning.
Totally.
I'd have everybody in a free Scotty t-shirt.
He tees off in 38 minutes, right?
Correct. He was charged with 1 felony and 3 misdemeanors. Now teeing off, arrested for 1 felony and 3 misdemeanors, and 2-time Masters champion. Please welcome to the tee, Scotty Scheffler.
And he's going to get the biggest roar of the week. Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today win. All coming up.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. So he hired this Steve Romanins as the lawyer, and that's the guy in Louisville that handled part of the Breonna Taylor thing. But
So apparently, and the lawyer's speaking.
I think already did. It's out there on Twitter.
Traffic incident, SEC me, near the golf course. Traffic was bottled up. He tried to drive around, and a cop told him to stop,
and attached himself to his car.
Right.
I mean, they have got cameras at both sides of them just going to the range right now. I'll tell you what.
And you're right, Mark. This will be a bonanza for this CBS, and hell, this could help ESPN Plus this morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Butch Harmon took to X yesterday and eviscerated ESPN's golf coverage. He said, "Are they covering golf, or is this just a betting service?" And he took a picture of the screen with all the betting odds down below. And then he said, "Worst coverage ever."
That's what gets people looped in, though.
Yeah. We talked about it 2 years ago, in which we're like, listen, the sport that could really benefit from the legalized sports betting is golf. The problem is not all the golf that you see is live.
Right, like you can't bet on the next pitch or something like you can in baseball.
How's the wrist, Scotty?
Yeah, this is unbelievable.
Well, JS Minnick, ESPN Bet is not working. And so they are doubling down on ESPN Bet and pumping the hell out of it. If they don't make real headway and inroads this football season with ESPN Bet, that thing is in trouble.
Like the sports book itself?
Yeah.
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 They're not making money?
In terms of the amount of money that's being bet through ESPN Bet, it's a very small percentage.
I guess they were late to the party, kind of.
Yes. And people are doing Hard Rock apps, DraftKings, FanDuel, even, they did Barstool.
Barstool is the one I used for years because it was 2021. It opened up and it was one of the only legal ones in Michigan at that time.
I think what ESPN Bet needs to do is they need to give away like $200 free, $500 free to everybody. Got to get people to sample your product.
What's the biggest one? DraftKings?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. Pretty good show today.
Yeah. Daily with Drew, by the way.
Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes Until the top of the hour, 16 until we're done talking. This is it for us for the week. By the way, go to millerandmoulton.com. We did an interview after the show yesterday with the new athletic director at FGCU. And we were just a Southwest Florida show for the longest time. And we understand now we're not just in the 239, we're in the 904 and elsewhere. But he just got the gig. They're at an interesting point in their history. And so we had a 30-minute sit down with the new athletic director of FGCU, Colin Hargis. And, if you're interested in FGCU in any way, shape, or form, this is the guy that's going to be leading the athletic department. You figure for at least the next handful of years. So, give it a listen. See what you think.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
1861, the first color photograph was taken and shown to others.
What was it of? Do we know?
Of a ribbon. First televised baseball game was today in 1939. Princeton beat Columbia 2-1.
Did you hear about the Joe Buck and is it Chip Carey next Friday? Jack Buck and Harry Carey.
Right.
Did games 60, 70 years ago on KMOX for the Cardinals. And I guess Joe did an interview like a week or so ago in which he just flippantly said, well, I guess it would be cool. It'd be kind of like if, Chip Carey and I did a Cardinals game together. Somebody with the Cardinals heard it and called him up and said, well, would you do it? And Joe said, well, yeah, sure. What the hell? So a week from tonight on a Friday night in St. Louis, the next generation, although it's like 3 generations removed on the Carey side, but so Buck and Carey will be calling a Cardinals game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Today in 64, the first Tim Hortons Donuts opened in Hamilton, Ontario.
64?
Yes.
60 years, huh? Wow.
Today in 69, the Baltimore Colts, the Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers agreed to go from the NFC to the AFC. Because it's no longer NFL, AFL, right? Right. But still, I would think that would be a big deal. There had to be a lot of coercing and a lot of promises made for teams to just leave because you don't know who knew what that merger was going to be in 69.
So this is 69. So this is only 4 months after the Jets beat the Colts. So this is actually still NFL, AFL. They got one more year of it. The merger's being negotiated. It's happening. So it was Baltimore, who?
Pittsburgh and Cleveland.
All went from the N to the A, huh?
Correct.
Interesting. Now they're all in the same division.
Well, except for Baltimore because they're in Indianapolis now.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
1970, Hank Aaron becomes the 9th to 3,000 hits. 1973, Stevie Wonder's #1 on the charts with You Are the Sunshine of My Life. 1983, the Islanders, 4th in a row, they sweep Edmonton. David Wells throws his perfect game today in 1998.
He claims he was still drunk. He was at the very least hungover because he partied all night, got to the stadium like on 2 hours sleep, he said.
Today in 2000, the final episode of 90210 ran.
Oh, man. How old does that make some of us feel?
Really?
24 years ago.
And today in 2024, Scotty Scheffler got arrested on the way to the golf course.
That'll be fun to come back to in a year when you're doing this segment on this day next year.
Got that right. Dennis Hopper, Bob Saget, both born today. Sugar Ray Leonard is 68. Jim Nance is 65.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. 62 for Craig Ferguson. Trent Reznor from 9 Inch Nails is 59. Danny Manning is 58. Tony Parker is 42. And Matt Ryan is 39 years old. What did I miss, David?
Well, it was today in 54, a pretty big decision, Brown versus the Board of Education. 70 years ago today, we got rid of segregation in public education. So that's a biggie. But it was today in 65 that the FBI chimed in on the lyrics to Louie Louie and whether or not they were dirty. And they determined that they were not dirty in some respect because they were unintelligible.
Correct.
Right.
Because it had already been ruled obscene, I think, in the UK. And they were trying to make that same claim in the US.
Right. And so the FBI got involved. Once again, we had nothing going on in the mid-60s in this country. No. And people getting shot, riots, and the FBI. Hey, we got a case. Really? What is it? Malcolm X has just been killed. Yeah, can you investigate the lyrics of Louie Louie? Oh, sure. Got to admit, it's a lot safer than what I've been doing. So, okay. Yeah, sure. By the way, today in 73, they started televising the Watergate hearings. Remember, they televised them for over a year.
Riveting.
It was we only had 3 networks, so.
And it was on probably all of them.
And people were watching. You ever see some of the hearings?
Go ahead.
They're smoking. They're smoking in the middle of the hearings. They're smoking. It's like golf in the 70s. Arnie just smoking a dart, walking down the fairway. They had dugouts in the 70s, and they'd go, and the manager and their coaches would be there, doing darts. I mean, those 70s hearings, if you ever don't listen to them, we all know how it ends. But just between the hair, between how wide the lapels were, and the fact that they are just smoking.
Not in the boys' room, in every room.
Yep. Golly.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Vermont, where a 1910 weather vane of a steam locomotive sat atop the White River Junction Station. And it was swiped 40 years ago, but it has been found and returned to the Vermont Agency of Transportation. I've been so enamored with the Scotty Scheffler thing during every break, David. These good, bad, and uglies are, I don't want to say they're mailed in, but I did it in a hurry. That's as good as I could find. For the bad, we go to Stacy Ludlow. She's the former finance director in Abita Springs, Louisiana. She used her position to rack up tens of thousands of dollars in personal purchases on a taxpayer-funded credit card, even one assigned to the mayor. And she didn't buy any big items. Spent $7,500 on DoorDash for meals, $1,700 on wine, $26,000 at Amazon, $10,000 at Sam's Club, $4,600 at Walmart, and $4,000 at Target. All on the company credit card, all for her. How do people think they're not going to get caught?
I don't know. But then again, what can't you fix, Mark?
Stupid. And for the ugly, we go to Longwood, Florida, where a group of homeowners are concerned about flooding after a woman in their neighborhood filled a stormwater pipe with concrete. It's an ongoing HOA dispute. These are always fun. That's been going on apparently for 10 years. She believes the HOA put the pipe in. She said, no one gave me the authority, so I'm going to stop it up. Pipe runs by her house. Water's running rampant through the neighborhood now. I just like the idea that she filled the thing up with concrete herself. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, May the 17th, 2024.
Well, everybody's playing in baseball. I mean, it's a Friday, so nobody's got off on a Friday. No double headers, though. I mean, we keep track of that sort of thing. Rays are in Toronto to face the Jays. Marlins are hosting the Mets. Trying to look for, marquee series. You could say Mariners-Orioles. I mean, the Mariners are in first place. Orioles game back of the Yankees, playing nearly 667 baseball. Twins Guardians. Twins coming off getting swept by the Yankees. They're 2.5 back of Cleveland. That's on Apple TV tonight if you're a big fan. And don't look now. The Astros have won 5 in a row. Just throwing that out there. Just saying. So that's it in baseball.
Scotty Scheffler got arrested in golf. He's teeing off in a matter of minutes.
What's he, about 20 minutes away?
Yeah. By the way, a tweet that was reposted by No Laying Up, a golf thing that I follow, says by Annie Moore, who worked in the sports industry and used to work in the newsroom, says, I used to go through the LMDC booking logs as a random aspect of my old job in the newsroom. 99% of booking photos are in the clothes they were arrested in. So when I tell you they made that man put the orange jumpsuit on just for the pic, it was just for the pic. The police department's doubling down that they've got him. This whole
this will be interesting. They charged him with what they charged him in. They put him in the orange jumpsuit.
They cuffed him and stuffed him. I mean, this was
they
charged him with a felony.
Well, because they claim an officer injured, so they ain't messing around. The Knicks are a 6.5 point dog at Indiana. When the show started, they were 5.5. Just so you know. 8:30 tonight, 4-letter network. Knicks Pacers. By the way, there'll be as many people at the Knicks Pacers tonight game as they were at the Indiana Fever game last night.
Let's hope for the Pacers' sake they don't get beaten as badly as the Fever did last night.
Yeah, I know. The only good thing is the Fever lost by 36 and the Nuggets lost by 45. But Knicks Pacers, do we see a game 7?
Yes.
I'm rooting for the Knicks, but I would love to have 2 game 7s on Sunday. That would be as good as it gets.
I do think the schedule maker has helped the Knicks out here, just like I thought it helped the Rangers out last night. You know, there's 3 days in between games 5 and 6 for the Knicks.
Big for Brunson.
Just like and all of them, they're all playing 43 plus
but Brunson's
minutes.
got the bad foot.
Right.
I mean, another day of rest is a big deal there.
It's why I actually like the points with the Knicks tonight. I think they're going to play really well. I think it'll be a close game. Don't doubt Indiana's going to win, but I actually would take the 6.5. That's the only NBA game tonight. NHL, we're almost down to the Final Four. In fact, we could have 3/4 of the Final Four done after tonight. Panthers have to go back to Boston because they didn't close it out at home. 7 o'clock TNT. Does Florida get it done tonight? That would be sweeping all 3 games in Boston. Remember, they won 3 out of 4 in Boston last year.
I think we get a game 7 in that series, David. What about you?
Florida's the better team.
I understand that.
And
but
I thought
all 3 in Boston?
5. Yeah, I know. Well, here it's the same situation in the nightcap. 10 o'clock TNT, Colorado, Dallas. If Dallas wins, they win the series tonight, and that means they will have won all 3 games in Denver. Like, I think Dallas is playing better than Colorado right now. My gut is to take the Stars, and I have the Stars winning the Cup. But when you position it the other way, do you think Boston's going to go 0-3 at home? Do you think Colorado's going to go 0-3 at home? Then again, I mean, home ice in hockey is not that big a deal.
And it really has not been in these playoffs.
No, I think home teams have a losing record, actually, in the NHL playoffs after getting off to a good start. So what do you say? Florida's favored. They're like a minus $150, but Colorado is a slight favorite tonight. So you get Dallas and some odds tonight. Just saying. I say Florida wins. That series ends tonight. Colorado wins. We see another game 7 for the Stars in Dallas.
I think we see 2 game 7s.
So you're betting on 3 game 7s between the NBA and the NHL
yes.
tonight.
Yes.
So you think all 3 home teams win tonight?
I do.
Trent?
I'm just rooting for your Stanley Cup pick to be correct.
Well, it can't be because I had Dallas, Carolina.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, I didn't pick the Rangers. I picked Dallas, Carolina. I will say, if it's Dallas and the Rangers, I am moving to Dallas. I'm going to be knocking on Mr. Aikman's door.
I was going to say, you got connections. You got pull.
You got connections in both cities.
You can go to every game. Bring the equipment with you. Sign on in the morning. do the show, go to the game later. What a way to bookend your day.
I really would. I would lean on him so hard for a Rangers Stars Stanley Cup final.
Man can dream.
I know. Just have to get there first. Have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.